Hokage give me a face, Chapter 261-280. Chapter 261_spray at the door. The quota was established, and after 3 days, everyone gathered at the gate of Konoha, preparing to go to the land of water together. Taking exams in other countries is very risky, especially for some super geniuses, who are easily attacked by other countries. Yizan is not afraid. There are 10 Konoha teams participating in the 5-nation joint examination this time. That is to say, in addition to Yizan and Jiraiya, there are also 8 elite Jonin, enough to deal with any problem. The people haven't gathered yet. There are only 5 groups of people at the gate, but at this moment, the other Jonins are hiding far away, including the 2 Chunin guarding the gate, and they quietly retreat a few steps back. Their faces are nervous and their foreheads are covered in sweat. Fool, how dare you call me a fool? Aren't you an idiot or something? Yo, you went to be the guardian of the Fire Country's daimyo, thinking that he was very powerful and arrogant. Thinking that protecting the daimyo is very noble. Brainless. What a shame for your father. Boy, you have the guts to say it again. Just say it. What can you do if you scold you? Hit me. At the gate of Konoha, Yizan and Sarutobi Shinosuke kept fighting each other. Yizan couldn't get used to Sarutobi Shinosuke for a long time. Jonin, the mere elite, dared to slap his face at himself. The atmosphere at the Konoha gate became more and more solemn, scaring everyone into hiding. The son of the number 1 and the son of the number 2, 980, are about to fight. This is incredible. They want to stop it, but they dare not stop it. What if they anger the 2 young masters and beat themselves up? At this moment, Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato appeared lazily in the distance. When he found the 2 people who were about to start at the door, he immediately stared in horror and rushed over like the wind. Hey, you 2, what are you doing? Jiraiya separated the 2 and stood between them. This boy scolds me. Shouldn't I scold you? What did you say? Oops, alright, the 2 of you, both Konoha ninjas, let's be more harmonious. Seeing that the 2 of them were about to strike again, Jiraiya immediately made a round. He smiled and hugged Sarutobi Shinosuke's shoulder, pulled Shinosuke aside, and whispered in Shinosuke's ear. Don't mess with Shimura-gen, make him angry, don't say I can't save you. Even if Mr. Sarutobi comes to save you, he dares to beat you up in front of Mr. Sarutobi. He sucks like that. Nonsense. Do you think the rumors in the ninja world are fake? He really has this strength, and he really has this courage. Don't think that Mr. Sarutobi is very powerful as Hokage. You don't know, Shimura-san often reprimands Mr. Sarutobi in the office, can't even tell, so don't mess with him. Jiraiya patted Shinosuke a few times, then smiled and leaned over to Yizan's side. Before he could speak, Yizan turned a big Byakugan, turned his head, snorted lightly, and looked like he was ignoring him. That, Xiaozan. Humph. Oh, the most handsome Xiaoshuan in the world, just give me a face. Today's affairs, forget it. Humph. That Yizan was still ignoring him, Jiraiya rolled her eyes, as if thinking of something, and whispered in Yizan's ear. On the way to the land of water, I will pass a town, and I heard that there are the best in the world. Entertainment, do you want to see and see? Huh. Yizan's eyes lit up, and he immediately became interested, but when he noticed the vicious gazes of Kushina Makoto and Konan a few meters away, his neck shrank, and he quietly choked back his mouth. Forget it, how could a decent person like me, Kunzi, go? That kind of place. Jiraiya, you are so bad. After he finished speaking, regardless of Jiraiya's embarrassed expression, he walked over and wanted to hold Kushina. Kushina slapped off Yizan's claws, ran to Jiraiya's team, and stuck to Miwako's side. Stinky hooligan, why don't I go with you? I want to go with my sister. She made a mischievous face, which made Yizan sigh helplessly, but fortunately there were Makoto and Konan. I'm going to accompany Kushina. Makoto was shy, and was embarrassed to hold hands with Yizan when there were so many people, and Konan took a step back with a face full of Yuhi. You know, she is Yizan's apprentice in name. The end. all the three girls actually went to the Jiraiya team. Seeing this scene, Yizan was finally angry, and Jiraiya was crying and crying without tears. Xiaozan, it's not my fault. Ooh. The scenery of the water country is not very good, because there is too much water vapor, it is foggy most of the time, and the view is not wide. After several years of development, the popularity of the country of water has finally become active. Although it is not as good as before, there are still many people coming and going in large and medium-sized towns. The 3-yearly 5-nation joint examination lives up to its reputation. Look, along the way, there are not only the specialties of the water country, but also the specialties and delicacies of the other 4 countries. According to previous information, many civilians from the 4 countries came to the water country just to watch this game. Jonin doesn't need exams, so Chunin's exam is the highest exam that can be watched by the common people. Of course, it is only this kind of joint examination, and it is the last single-player PK to watch. Just like the World Cup, the finals will attract people from all over the world to watch. As long as they have money and love, anyone can watch it. The same is true for the Chunin exam. The presence of wealthy businessmen and nobles from all over the world can indirectly promote the local economic development. Because of this, every time the 5-nation joint examination is conducted, they will do well in terms of security. Even if there are ninjas fighting in private, they will try to avoid ordinary people. After all, this is the common interest of the 5 countries. Makoto, come, eat a glutinous rice ball. I didn't expect that you can eat Konoha-style food in the land of water. Yizan jumped happily. 4 years after the end of the Ninja World War, his body happened to be in a period of explosive growth. Compared to before, he was short, tender and cute. He is now a beautiful boy of 1.74 meters. The cute baby fat disappeared. Along the way, no Kurigakure ninja recognized him. Makoto, look at that big fat guy named Sukazan Fubuki, haha. Isn't he ugly? Brother Zan, keep your voice down, in case someone else hears. Before Makoto could finish speaking, Sukazan Fubuki suddenly looked towards him and walked over step by step with a strong momentum. Chapter 262-Poor Sukazan Fubuki. Boy, what did you just say to me? With a sturdy figure and majestic momentum, he deserves to be the owner of the shark muscle. Sukazan Fubuki's strength is at the top level among the elite Jonin. Sukazan Fubuki recognized Jiraiya in Yizan's team at a glance. Even so, he still came over with a strong momentum. The Kurigakure ninja's character is very violent. Even if there are 10 elite Jonin in front of him, even if there is Jiraiya, a maniac who is well known in the ninja world, he is not afraid. After all, this kid scolded himself just now. Anyway, at least you have to apologize to yourself, right? Sukazan Fubuki is also unwilling to destroy the 5-nation joint entrance examination, but for the sake of his own dignity, it is not a big deal to ask for an apology. And looking at Yizan's appearance, he should be the students of this group of elite Jonin, but he didn't expect that if he was really a student, how would he know his name? Boy, what did you just say to me? I said you were ugly. Look at you, you look like a pufferfish with green paint on your face. Your name is Sukazan Fubuki, are you a fat pufferfish with watermelon skin? Yishuanji didn't know what to be afraid of when he was in trouble. He smugly picked his nostrils, dug out a ball of booger, rolled it into a ball, and flicked it lightly on Sukazan Fubuki. Boy looking for death. Boom. The terrifying murderous aura erupted, and Sukazan Fubuki suddenly pulled out the shark muscle on his back. However, in the next second, Jiraiya and a group of Jonin burst out with momentum at the same time, instantly suppressing Sukazan Fubuki back. Mad Ghost Jiraiya, what do you mean? Suppressed by 10 elite Jonin together with Jiraiya, Sukazan Fubuki's expression changed, and he slowly put away his aura. His face was ugly, his eyes were fierce, as Konoha like this. When the student scolded someone, the teacher came out to help. This is the head of the 5 kingdoms. I wonder what your thoughts, Lord Hokage, will be when you know about it. Quote. Sukazan Fuguki deliberately used Sarutobi to press them, but didn't know that Yizan was not afraid of Sarutobi at all. The more Sukazan Fuguki was like this, the more trouble Yizan wanted to cause, especially when he saw the sneer on Sukazan Fuguki's face. He stopped Jiraiya, who was about to speak, and stood up lazily. Sukazan Fuguki, right? The 7 ninja swordsman, right? It's awesome, right? I want your shark muscle. He said lightly, and in the next second, Sukazan Fuguki felt a flash of blue light in front of his eyes, and his back lightened. When he realized it, Yizan was already standing not far away with the shark muscle. So fast. Sukazan Fuguki's pupils shrank sharply, and his whole body was tense with a huge sense of crisis. He didn't concentrate just now, but even so, he is a top elite Jonin, a mere child who actually took the shark muscle of his back before he could react. He was cold all over, chakra overflowed his body, and his eyes were fixed on Yizan, grim. He was waiting for the shark muscle to stab Yizan's hand, and the moment Yizan let go, he would be able to take the shark muscle back. However, 1 minute has passed, 2 minutes have passed, and the bandaged shark muscle did not move. It tightly contracted the barb in the bandage without resisting. The shark muscle is actually a wise fish, and has a special affinity for the powerful chakra. When it feels the chakra in Yizan's hand, it is straightforward. Because EPUB 9 tails chakra restores power, Yizan's chakra contains a destructive aura similar to EPUB 9 tails. But the shark muscle can clearly feel it. What a chakra that fascinates fish. Shark muscle loves it to death. A fish, where is there any loyalty, good and evil, in its heart? Yizan is its master. No one knew that the shark muscle had already had these thoughts. At this moment, Yizan held the shark muscle and kept tapping the body of the shark muscle with his fingers. Finding that the shark muscle didn't stab himself at all, he finally turned his head to look at Sukazan Fuguki, blinking his eyes full of doubts, as the shark muscle broken. Why didn't he open the barb to stab me? Sukazan Fuguki. A day later, the crowd finally reached the village of Kurigakure. At the entrance of Kurigakure village, there are hundreds of people lining up. In order to ensure the safety of wealthy businessmen and politicians, everyone who enters the village needs documents or something to prove their identity. We are Konoha's ninja taking the exam, this is our document. Jiraiya handed over the document, and the ninja at the door read it carefully, nodded, and let everyone in. Hey, Sukazan-sama, why are you here? When the line was about to finish, the gatekeeper ninja spotted Sukazan Fuguki at the back of the line. It's okay, I'm going to meet the Konoha candidates, you don't have to worry about me. Sukazan Fuguki said covertly. If you look carefully, you can find that Sukazan Fuguki's back is empty, and the ninja sword that symbolizes his identity as a group of 7 has disappeared without a trace. If you look more carefully, you will find that there is an extra machete wrapped in bandages on Yizan's back. The machete absorbs a little of Yizan's chakra from time to time, and feeds it back, only to find that Yizan's chakra is full and can't be fed at all. Not going back. Due to the 5-nation joint examination, the streets of Kurigakure village were crowded and lively. Walking on the street, Sukazan Fuguki suffered from the gazes of some Kurigakure ninjas from time to time. He finally couldn't take it anymore, trotted to Yizan, and begged pitifully, Shimura-zan, give me back the shark muscle, all the previous things. It's my fault. It's your fault originally, and it's not that I don't give you the shark muscle. If you want it, you can just take it. I'm not greedy for your shark muscle. Along the way, Yizan said this sentence many times, but Sukazan Fuguki didn't dare to take it, because when he took the shark muscle from Yizan for the first time, he was stabbed with blood from the shark muscle. Looking at the shark muscle on Yizan's back, Sukazan Fuguki's face was full of grievances. He didn't know what happened. It was obviously his own shark muscle. Ooh, shark muscle, come back soon. If this goes on, how can I get a foothold in the village? Chapter 263-Visit Kurigakure village. Sukazan Fuguki followed Yizan like a little sidekick. He wanted face, and he lost his shark muscles, so he didn't want to say it. The only thing he is looking forward to now is that the shark muscle will change his mind, so he has been following Yizan, and every hour, he will try to touch the shark muscle, although so far, the shark muscle has hurt himself with barbs. His little follower trip did not last long. Seeing that Yizan entered the VIP building with his shark muscles on his back, he leaned against the wall weakly and slapped himself a few times. I told you to pretend. I told you to pretend. What's wrong with being scolded by others? If you have to provoke others, it's over. He kept slapping himself, until several ninjas came over from not far away, only to find that Tsukazan Fubuki was slapped and looked very strange. Lord Tsukazan, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm fanning mosquitoes. Tsukazan Fubuki turned around in embarrassment. He decided to find a room in a nearby hotel, and he would not be a human if he didn't get the shark muscle back. But, how do I get it back? Or, go find some snacks that shark muscle likes to eat. Thought of snacks, Tsukazan Fubuki thought of a Sata Sanway. Because there was no suitable carrier, this wild-tailed beast had been sealed in a certain sea area by the village of Kurigakure. He frowned and kept thinking, if he could use the three tails, could he regenerate the shark muscle? Attract back. Tsukazan Fubuki started his own action, and in the VIP room, Yizan and Kushina lived together. There are 2 shops in the room, which can accommodate 2 ninjas. Although the economy of Kurigakure village is not good, the 5-nation joint examination that takes place every 3 years and only once every 15 years, Kurigakure village will not be too shabby. Entire Konoha team came, occupying 22 rooms. Fortunately, the VIP building has a lot of floors, enough for the candidates from the other 3 countries. Why do you want me to live with a rascal? He's a bastard. He'll bully me. Putting down Xingli and other things, everyone had lunch in the restaurant on the 2nd floor of the VIP building. Kushina pouted and kept protesting, but under Yizan's threatening gaze, everyone dared not speak for Kushina. Makoto, Conan, sister, you have to decide for me. Kushina kept begging for help, and Makoto and Conan finally escaped Yizan's clutches, so they didn't dare to help Kushina. If they saved Kushina and trapped themselves, that's pitiful. Wanted to speak for Kushina, but Yizan just glanced at Namikaze Minato. Minato immediately grabbed Mawako. In front of love, Mawako abandoned her sister immediately, making Kushina even more aggrieved. Stinky bastard, Kushina knew that no one could save her. She kicked Yizan hard under the dining table, and ate with her head down. I'm going to eat a lot. Kill me. The time for the 5-Nation Federation exam was March 6. Yizan and the others were not too late. It was noon on March 5. Lunch. Jiraiya began to process the certification of the leading teacher. Otherwise so many foreign elite jonin appeared in the village of Kurigakure, which would cause unnecessary trouble. With one more day to go, dozens of students scattered around the landscape of Kurigakure village. With Yizan and his friends, except Shikaku, who wanted to go back to sleep, everyone else agreed to visit Kurigakure village. Haimaru stood on Inuzuka's claws and screamed, grinning and looking very happy. Haimaru, what's your name? It's been 6 years and I haven't grown up. Little bastard. Wong wong wong. Still quibble, it's just a little bitch, as naive as someone. Kushina gave Yizan a fierce look. Her hand was always being held by Yizan, and she was in a bad mood and directly took the black pill as a punching bag. Wong Wu. Being reprimanded by Kushina, Kuromaru blinked pitifully. Maybe he really didn't grow up. He bowed his head aggrievedly, and lay on Inuzuka's claws weakly. Oh, Haimaru, don't be sad. Kushina is teasing you. I believe that within 3 years, you will definitely become a large dog. Yizan rubbed Haimaru's head, finally making Haimaru happy. It squinted and barked a few times, and then Yamanaka Inoichi handed over a piece of dog food. Wong. 9 people and 1 dog wandered freely in Kurigakure village. Due to the holding of the 5-Nation exam, Kurigakure village is very lively today. In addition to the ninjas and civilians from the land of water, there are ninjas and civilians from other 4 countries on the street. Zan even saw the managers of several shops in Konoha on the street, and it was obvious that he made a special trip to Kurigakure village to watch the exam. Everyone played all the way, ate and drank all the way, until 9 o'clock in the evening. They returned to the VIP building, ready to wash and sleep. However, hey, stinky rascal, first, don't bully me tonight. In the room, Kushina was a little nervous. Seeing Yi-zan lock the door, her little face was already exposed to Yuhi. Hey, don't worry, the Chunin exam will take place tomorrow. No matter what I do, I won't bully you tonight. Don't worry, Yi-zan smirked, took off his clothes and pants, and walked into the bathroom in slippers. I'll take a shower first. Do you want to take a bath together? Think beautifully. By Kushina, Yi-zan just shrugged, and after a while, the water flowed, and Yi-zan's proud singing came out. I hate it. What songs are you singing in the shower? But 2.8 Kushina rolled her eyes, stood up cautiously, and tiptoed towards the door. She didn't believe that Yi-zan didn't bully her tonight. To be on the safe side, she would go straight to Makoto and go to sleep. Put the two bunks together, enough for 3 girls to sleep. However, she had just passed the washroom and was less than 3 meters away from the door when a large hand suddenly stretched out from inside, grabbed Kushina, and pulled it in fiercely. Ah! Kushina screamed, and the hot water made her unable to open her eyes. She passively hugged Yi Shuangguang, Yo-Yo's body. Her cheeks became more and more dizzy. Bastard! Let me out! Hee, Jindu came in. Still want to run? Come on baby, take a bath with me, hehehehe. Chapter 264 Kushina eats again. 10 p.m. Yi-zan was lying on the bunk wearing a nightgown, psyched out a slug and talking on the phone with Tsunade. Kushina brushed Kiba in the bathroom for 10 minutes, and rushed out angrily with the sound of denga-denga-dang. Stinky rascal, next time, I'll bite you off. Kushina said angrily, making the slug on Yi-zan's shoulder a little curious. The long tentacles were gently waving in midair, and on the other side, the slug on Tsunade's shoulder asked suspiciously. Kushina just said that he wants to bite off something from Xiaoshuan, and Kushina brushed Kiba in the bathroom for a long time before. What are you talking about? Ah, Tsunade covered her mouth in surprise when she heard the slug's words, as if she felt the same way. Her face suddenly turned Yuhi. No. Nothing, I don't know. Huh, you don't know, why is Yuhi's face? Cough cough, I have a cold. Xiaozan, Tsunade has a cold. At the same time, the slug immediately sent a message to Yi-zan. Yi-zan was stunned for a moment, as if he understood something. A wicked smile crossed the corner of his mouth. Tell Tsunade, when I go back, I will definitely treat her cold. Yi-zan deliberately said the word treatment very seriously, and the slug also had a firm eye and passed Yi-zan's tone. While the two were talking on the phone, Kushina finally changed her clothes and rushed out of the room without looking back. Yi-zan was slightly stunned, and Tsunade also got the news. Ha 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 ha, stupid Xiaoshuan, who told him to bully Kushina? Tonight, let him stay alone in the empty room. Poor ha ha ha. Tsunade covered his stomach and laughed. Although Slug didn't quite understand, he was happy with Tsunade. Bouncing around. HMPH. I hate it. If you are alone, you will be alone. Yi-zan pouted unhappy, rolled over and lay down, pulling the bed cover to cover his head. Little Slug, go back and play with you tomorrow. Bye Tilda. Boom. With a puff of smoke, the slug disappeared. Yi-zan was sleepy here, but Kushina, Makoto and Konan worked together to move the two shops together. Fortunately, the area was large enough to accommodate 3 little girls. But, is it really okay to leave Brother Zan over there like this? Makoto was a little worried. There's something wrong with me. That stinky bastard actually treated me. What to you? Kushina accidentally missed something, which immediately attracted the curiosity of Makoto and Konan, especially Konan, who suddenly put his nose up to Kushina and smelled it, but he didn't smell any strange smell for a long time. You just took a shower. Washed with the teacher. Kushina panicked and suddenly got stuck. When she got stuck like this, Conan suddenly realized that Kushina took a bath with the teacher, and also used her mouth. Thinking of this, a Yuhi halo appeared on Conan's face for a moment, but fortunately the room had been turned off and no one noticed in the darkness. The early morning of the next day, a rare ray of sunshine appeared in the misty Kurigakure village. Candidates who were preparing to take the Chunin exam came to the ninja school in Kurigakure village one after another. This is the examination room, a traditional written test. Hey, what about Xiaozan? The students entered for the exam, and the instructors were waiting outside. Jiraiya looked left and right, and suddenly remembered that Yizan had not been seen all morning. Should be still sleeping, that little brat. Sarutobi Shinosuke said softly, with some dissatisfaction. Everyone came, but he didn't come, and he didn't take the rules seriously. Ninosuke, I have already reminded you, don't trouble Xiaoshuan, and... What are the rules and regulations? Xiaoshuan is a master who is not afraid of the sky and the earth. The more you tell him the rules, the more miserable you die. As if thinking of something, Jiraiya sighed in fear. In Konoha, he was the one who was tortured the most by Yizan. Because of this, he knew Yizan very well. If Shinosuke was so mean, he would definitely be beaten by Yizan. I don't even know him, Mom. However, they got one thing right. Yizan is indeed sleeping now. He is also a slacker, and the Chunin exam is not their business at all. These instructors are mainly to protect the students from being attacked by the powerful Jonin. In the exam, they are really useless. The Chunin test is divided into 3 parts, a written test, a field outdoor survival test, and a final one-on-one duel. The written test will take one morning, and the second field survival test should be held at 2 p.m. today for 3 days, but the task can also be completed by force. Yizan's big font lay on the bunk and slept until noon, and was woken up by Kushina. He half opened his eyes in a daze, and after finding the lovely Kushina, he hugged her directly and pulled her into his arms. Oh, why, someone is watching. Kushina was ashamed, and opened Yizan's arms. At this moment, Yizan realized that there were many people standing at the door, with Makoto 043 and Conan in the front. Hey. Yizan's head was covered with black lines, only to realize that he was only wearing underwear pants. He immediately wrapped himself with a bed cover, and his arms that were not too thick were streamlined muscles. Jiraiya, Minato, Choza, get out. Look again, I'll beat you. Yizan waved his fist viciously, finally frightening the group of men away. Makoto and Conan took the initiative to close the door to prevent men outside from peeking. Okay, the door is closed. What kind of bed do you have to wrap? A big man. Kushina walked over and lifted Yizan's bed, and immediately, the perfect muscle in the underwear pants showed, instantly making Makoto and Conan covered his eyes shyly. Makoto covered her eyes completely, while Conan quietly opened a slit. She secretly aimed at Yizan through the gap between her fingers, her face yuhi, she didn't know what she was thinking. Kushina's reaction was the best. After all, she had been bullied by Yizan twice. She had already seen her figure. Even so, the little girl's peculiar restraint still made her face yuhi. She quickly picked up the clothes and pants on the sofa and threw them on Yizan, turned around, and pulled Makoto and Conan out of the room. Stinky hooligan, hurry up and get dressed, everyone is waiting for you to eat. Chapter 265 Inhuman Exam. 9 of us have passed the written test, some of the rest have not passed, some have passed. I don't know them, so I don't know them very well. In the restaurant, Yizan was eating with everyone. This triennial exam made it more difficult in every way, so that elites could be screened out and the final one-on-one effect could be increased. I'll come too for the big field test in the afternoon. Yizan finished drinking a sip of soup with an order that could not be refused. Although he had confidence in the 3 girls, if something happened, he couldn't cry. He might as well disguise himself as a student and go in to protect him. He was always a little uneasy. When the strength reaches a certain level, the sixth sense may be fulfilled at some point. Regardless of whether there is any danger, Yi-zan has to enter. Yi-zan made a decision, and everyone stopped talking. There were still 2 hours before the exam time. Yi-zan left the restaurant and prepared to find a suitable target to disguise himself. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the hundreds of candidates who passed the written test left the village of Kurigakure by ferry, and after a few hours of bumpy rides, they came to a giant island with purple mist. The candidates disembarked one after another, while more than a dozen Kurigakure jonin stood on the side of the boat. The elite jonin headed by them smiled with bloodthirsty and cruelty in their smiles. The second exam is held on Dead Island. Oh, you may not understand why it is called Dead Island. It's very simple, because the purple mist on the island is poisonous. If you breathe it in for 24 hours, you will die unknowingly. And during these 24 hours, the strength of all of you will continue to decline due to toxins. What? How is it possible? Toxic Island, what the hell are you thinking in Kurigakure village? Do you want to kill all our candidates? Such a terrifying situation made all the candidates excited. Even the candidates in Kurigakure village did not expect that the exam would be held in such a terrifying place. Facing the excitement of the candidates, the elite jonin just smiled, and the cruelty in his eyes became stronger and stronger. There are no animals, no food, not even water on the island. But we have already hidden in the island in advance. There are many boxes, not only food and water, but also antidote. Listen. What I'm talking about now is the key. Elite jonin paused, and in the eyes of the candidates, he seemed to have become a demon. An antidote can only detoxify for 12 hours, and can only be used once in 12 hours. If you drink 2 bottles at the same time in 12 hours, the 2 bottles of antidote will condense into poison. Immediately kill. Remember, even if you find an antidote, within 12 hours, you can only drink 1 bottle. One more thing, the antidote, food and water on the island can only make 1/3 of you survive, understand what I mean? Elite jonin sneered, waved his hand suddenly, and suddenly, the huge transport ship began to leave the coast. Wait, don't go, I don't want to die. Don't be like this, I don't want to stay here. I want to abstain, abstain. A ninja kept crying. He stepped on the sea and rushed to the transport ship desperately, but the next second, a kunai penetrated his heart. Huh, still want to abstain. I'm really sorry, all of you have signed a life and death agreement before, and your death has nothing to do with Kurigakure village, unless you have the confidence to defeat me and other dozen jonin. Otherwise, stay on the island. 3 days later, I'll pick you up. Kurigakure jonin's frantic killing intent frightened everyone to act, and it was not until the transport ship disappeared into the thick fog that the candidates gradually came to their senses. Why does the antidote have to be used every 12 hours? Obviously, in this way, even if someone gets a few bottles of antidote, he can't use it immediately, and the antidote in his hand has become a hot potato, and will be besieged by other people. Don't forget, that person just now. It is said that the antidote on this island can only support 1/3 of the people to survive. This is only the maximum number of people, not counting the people who died in the middle of robbing the medicine, and even fewer people who can pass the test. Quote. Fear. Terrible means. This island is like a secret room. In the secret room, only a few people are allowed to survive. In this desperate mood, everyone will go crazy, and they will kill people desperately. If they have to do it, they will even slaughter their partners. Of Kurigakure. Compared to the forest of death in Konoha, the exams in Kurigakure village are simply inhumane, as if they were killed for the sake of killing. Go, let's go find the potion. A group of candidates reacted first, and they quickly moved towards the depths of the island. The elite jonin had already made it clear that there are no animals and no food here, which means that there is no hidden danger, and the biggest danger comes from other candidates. From these candidates who can desperately fight in order to survive. Found it. At this moment, a boy's voice attracted everyone's attention. As if he had reacted, the boy's face was full of fear, and he found that these hundreds of candidates exuded murderous aura at the same time. I don't want it. I don't want it. This box. Whoever wants to get it. The boy immediately dropped the box in his hand, and the box smashed to the ground, revealing the contents inside. 3 purple medicine bottles, 3 bottles of water, and a few sealed breads happened to be able to support a team. Grab. The teams who thought they were strong rushed over immediately, while more teams spread out in all directions. Since the boxes on the island can guarantee the survival of 1/3 of the people, there is no need for them to take action immediately. In the chaotic situation next, whoever is injured and who consumes chakra is the loser. Confused. Everything is messed up. More than a dozen teams began to snatch the medicine bottles on the ground, and the rest of the teams rushed to the depths of the island. This huge island is full of forests. As long as you find enough medicine to hide, you will definitely survive for 3 days. Do not forget, if there is no antidote, the poisonous fog on the island can kill people in 24 hours. In other words, in order to survive, within 24 hours, you must win the potion. Chapter 266-Confluence. What to do? On the shore of Death Island, 9 people gathered together. These were exactly Yi Zhan's 9 friends. Unity is strength. With our strength, few of the candidates this time have our opponents. Together, the 9 of us should be able to complete this exam. I heard a long time ago that Kurigakure village is an inhumane village, and I saw it today. This kind of completely forcing candidates to kill people, even not allowing candidates to abstain, or dying if they don't pass, is too much. Where's Big Brother Zhan? Didn't Big Brother Zhan say before that he would take this exam quietly? I don't know, he should be disguised as one of the candidates, unless we can't pass, otherwise the rascal won't help us. I don't need Brother Zhan's help. This is our Chunin exam. Everyone, come on. Come on. 9 friends, Namikaze Minato and Mawako are the strongest, and Nara Shikaku is the smartest. Any group needs a leader. Because this exam is too sinister, Shikaku eventually becomes everyone's military advisor and advises the team on the 440th road. Our speed is 1 step slower than others. There must be a lot of boxes buried in this huge jungle in the middle of the island. Think about it from another position. If I were the examiner, I would not let them easily find the boxes. That is to say, the boxes it's hidden in a very hidden place, so they can't find it in a short time, and now what we need to do is. Nara Shikaku turned to look at the distant shore, where there was still a fight, and in just a short while, 4 candidates died for the 3 bottles of antidote on the ground. That's how ninjas are. Either you die or I die. Although the village of Kurigakure has gone too far, I have to admit that they are the real ninjas. Shikaku sighed softly and looked at the 7 or 8 people who were still fighting. His eyes flickered. The first thing we have to do is to seize the 3 bottles of potions on the ground. The little friends started to move to survive, but on the other side, Yi Zhan suddenly shot, knocking out 2 sand ninja teammates. This is a sand ninja with a similar body and height that he found before the exam, and dressed up as one of them with makeup. Be honest, even Yi Zhan didn't expect such a terrifying exam in Kurigakure village. In terms of the strength of his friends, he should be able to pass it safely, but for some reason, there is always a crisis in Yi Zhan's heart, so he quickly stunned the other 2 sand ninjas and prepared to join up with their little friends. Yi Zhan jumped and walked towards the coast for about 10 minutes, and finally walked out of the huge jungle. Standing on the edge of the jungle, he saw many candidates lying on the ground and wailing on the shore, while his little friends gathered to pick up the potions on the ground. Hey, there's a sand ninja there. Shikaku was the first to spot Yi Zhan, and since Yi Zhan was dressed exactly like Sharen, Shikaku didn't recognize him at all. After Shikaku said, everyone turned their heads to look at the same time, and found that Yi Zhan came over in a carefree manner, holding his head up, with a very arrogant look on his face. Hey, 9 of you, give me the medicine in your hands. Yi Zhan spread his hands, as if everything seemed natural, leaving everyone stunned. Boy, did you make a mistake. You're the only one who still wants to rob. Is there something wrong with your head? I have no problem with my head, it's because of your problems. Don't give it to Dad, be careful Dad beats you. As if addicted to playing, Yizan twisted around proudly, his chin almost lifted to the sky. A few men didn't react, but Kushina Makoto Konan, who was standing behind, had a flash of enlightenment in his eyes. The extremely familiar movements and arrogant attitude created a picture in their minds. It was the bad boy. Stinky hooligan. You have no end. Kushina squeezed out of the crowd. Zhang Qiba danced claws and rushed towards Yizan. She hugged Yizan fiercely, and pulled off Yizan's wig and color stickers, showing it all at once Yizan's face. Bite you to death. Ah, stinky woman, you are a dog. It hurts. Let go. Humph. Don't let go. Kill you, kill you, kill you. 5 minutes later. Yizan and Kushina stopped panting. His shoulders are covered with Kiba marks, bitten by Kushina. Stinky woman, you're finished. When the exam is over, I'll let you know why Huar is like Yuhi. Yizan glared at Kushina viciously, clenching his fists and biting Kiba's teeth. Humph. The exam is over. I'm Tenten and Makoto Konan together, so I won't give you a chance. Kushina's face was Yuhi, and she hugged Makoto and Konan's arms timidly, as if she had found a sense of security, and waved arrogantly again. He shook his fist. With Makoto and Konan protecting me, I won't let you succeed. Cut. Yizan pouted and decided to teach this lawless woman a good lesson. As if thinking of something, a smirk flashed across his mouth, and he made a he sound from time to time. Hate. Facing Yizan's smirk, Kushina's face Yuhi whispered. The two flirted with no scruples. Shikaku Minato and other people were covered in black lines. He wanted to tell Yizan that we are still dying. What about the island? But no matter what, Yizan's appearance did give everyone a sense of security. At least, they don't have to worry about being poisoned to death. Ah, Shikaku, what are you talking about? I feel very safe with me. Please. This is the Chunin exam, how could a decent kun like me cheat for you? You are all a bunch of men, be responsible. Ah. Don't worry, if you are poisoned, I will collect the corpses for you. Yizan smiled and patted Shikaku's shoulder, causing Shikaku's entire face to collapse. He blinked pitifully, trying to use cute tactics to change Yizan's mind. However, at this moment, Yizan had already ignored Shikaku, and turned to hug Makoto's waist, whispering something in Makoto's ear, causing Makoto to chuckle from time to time, while the other paw was still holding Konan's hand. Important to friends. Big Brother Zan is too much. That's right, Shikaku, we're on our own, don't need Brother Zan's help. Wong Wong Wong. Chapter 267-Arrogant Bet. The 9-member team turned into a 10-member team, walking on this purple mist-filled island. Poison mist, give me face and stay away from me. The golden force field only enveloped Yizan. The poisonous mist on the island was very weak, and it would take 24 hours to kill a person. In terms of Yizan's current physical strength, even if he unlocked the fruit ability without limit, it would not consume much. You guys have to work hard. After 5 hours of searching, I found a box. Hey, I came back from the jungle to find you, and found many boxes along the way. Is it because you are too weak? Walking beside the girl, Yizan kept taunting Shikaku and Namikaze Minato in front of him, which made several friends look a little unsightly and a little aggrieved. Brother Zan, what level are you? What level are we? You are a genius comparable to the first Hokage, how can we compare with you? You can't say that, Shikaku, your IQ is still 190, much higher than mine. Also, believe it or not, your son's IQ will be higher than yours in the future. Cut. I don't believe it. My dad said that although our Nara family often has IQs of 170 to 180, so far only me and my ancestors have an IQ of 190. Could it be that my future son has a higher IQ than our ancestors? You don't believe it. Good. Kind of bet me. Bet. Say, What bet? Nara Shikaku has a certainty of victory. In his heart, if his son's IQ is really higher than his own in the future, that is also the blessing of the Nara family. If that happens, he will admit it. Therefore, the advantages of the traversers are really incomprehensible. Yizan snickered, looking at Shikaku's back in front of him. An idea came to his mind. Shikaku, if you want to bet, bet big. If you win, I will wear nothing and run around Konoha. If you lose, you're wearing nothing and running around the Konoha, bet it. Huh. Such a heroic gamble finally made Shikaku turn his head and look over. He stared at Yizan in disbelief, and his tone was extremely surprised. Brother Zan, you are serious. If you lose, don't be fooled. Bah, do you think I've ever played a fool? Dare to gamble. Bet. Shikaku doesn't believe in evil. He really doesn't believe that his future son's IQ exceeds 190. You must know that he himself has a high IQ that has been seen in a century, comparable to the IQ of his ancestors. However, why did Brother Zan know that I would have a son? Shikaku looked confused, but at this moment, he suddenly realized that the land beside Yizan was different. His eyes widened, and his face finally turned happy. I found the box, Brother Zan. There must be a box in the land next to you. The sky was dark, the sun set over the sea level, night fell, and a few stars appeared in the sky. In the jungle filled with purple mist, everyone was sitting together. How do you feel? After inhaling the poisonous mist for a few hours, I feel that my strength has dropped by 20%, how about you? Me too, the examiner said that the poisonous mist will weaken the body and cause death until 24 hours later. So far, we have found a total of 9 bottles of potions. I suggest not to sleep tonight. I speculate that the rest of the teams have extra potions, so they are not in a hurry and can sleep to replenish their energy, but we can't wait. I suggest that you specifically look for those teams that have traps all around, ready to rest and sleep, and grab their remaining potions. I agree with Shikaku's suggestion. I agree too. Agree. I don't agree. Just when Shikaku's suggestion was passed unanimously, Yizan quit. He yawned lazily, his eyelids drooping. Why don't you sleep? I'm so tired to say. Brother Zan, don't be afraid of the poisonous fog, and you're still talking slander here. Hey, Shikaku, you're so smart, you've seen it all. Quote. Everyone was speechless and decided to ignore Yizan. This is really bullying. And, Shikaku's proposal was approved with 9 votes in favor and 1 vote against. Everyone drank the antidote and could resist the poisonous mist for 12 hours. Let's go. Get started. In the darkness of the night, 10 shadows shuttled through the jungle. Although the jungle is large, there are hundreds of candidates scattered on the island. It took a whole night to search for it, and I still can't believe that one team could not find it. No one noticed that on the dark and foggy sea at this moment, a ship slowly sailed towards the dead island. Here, it's here. The purple poisonous fog of Dead Island is obvious, and at a glance, it is known that this is Dead Island. 5 masked black-clad ninjas stood at the bow of the boat, and when the boat reached the shore, 4 of them jumped off. Number 5. You are guarding the boat, who will kill who? There can't be any news. Good. The man called. Number 5 feet grabbed the anchor. He didn't know how many tons it was. The anchor that would take at least 5 or 6 strong men to lift was lifted with one hand and threw it into the sea. Whoa. The water on the shore was not deep, and the anchor soon sank to the bottom. After stabilizing the boat, he stood silently at the bow, under the cover of darkness. If he didn't look carefully, he wouldn't be able to see anyone on the bow. Is the news from the second elder of Kurigakure village reliable? Is the QB 9 Tails person Jinchuriki column force really on the island? The second elder is Ghost Lantern Wanyu's closest clan. When Konoha used tricks to trick Ghost Lantern Wanyu into sneaking into our village, he was finally killed by Lord Rakage. Although he hated us, he hated Konoha the most. This news can't be wrong. Yes. The 4 of them rushed into the island jungle, and everyone exuded the breath of the top elite Jonin. Any one of them can kill all the candidates on the island, but in order to ensure the absolute capture of Kyubi, Ninetales Kumogakure village sent 4 of them, including the boat guard, who was the strongest ace of the Golden Horn Force, one number 5. The Mad Ghost Jiraiya and Konoha, elite Jonin are all in the village of Kurigakure, remember. Others can kill, but definitely not the Kyubi, Ninetales Jinchuriki column. As long as the complete Kyubi is not Ninetales triggered, the mere Jinchuriki column force form is not our opponent at all. Quote. Chapter 268-Unexpected Enemy. Why is the flower like this, Yuhi? Why is this? Yuhi. Hey. Yuhi looks like it's burning. Boom. Oops. What are you doing? Excuse me, what song are you singing at night? We are now quietly searching for other teams. Kushina clenched his fists and glared at Yizan, while Yizan hugged Kushina's waist with a smile, but was slapped off by Kushina. Hate. Don't touch me. Go bully your Makoto. Makoto. Brother Zan, Conan said she misses you. Huh, Sister Makoto, don't talk nonsense. That Yizan was looking over, Conan's pretty face instantly turned to Yuhi. She pursed her lips and was about to say something, but Yizan grabbed her little hand. The warmth from Yizan's palm made her bow her head shyly. Hey, I said you guys, don't show your affection. If you show it like this again, I'm afraid Inoichi won't be able to stand it. As soon as Shikaku said it, everyone found that Inoichi was expressionless and took out a piece of dog food from his arms from time to time to eat. Yizan sighed softly, his tone was full of sighs. Inoichi, you should really find a girlfriend. I know, but I can't find it. Yamanaka Inoichi's face was expressionless, and he chewed the dog food faster. Looking at his expressionless expression, who was swallowing all the pain in his stomach, everyone imagined a miserable and tragic scene. That, Inoichi, how about I introduce you a girlfriend? Choza asked cautiously. That moment, Inoichi's eyes burst into a dazzling light, almost illuminating the entire dark night. You say, I'll listen first. He remained expressionless, but his tone showed a hint of excitement. It's from our family, Akamichi mailing, you. No need. O_O. Akamichi Choza smiled awkwardly. In fact, he knew in his heart that the girls of the Akamichi family, maybe only the boys of the Akamichi family could like it. Well, even boys. Basically, only girls from the Akamichi clan can take their fancy. At this moment, Inuzuka Claw suddenly sniffed his nose, his eyes lit up, and he immediately waved to everyone to stop. Little Claw, what's wrong? I smell the other candidates. Just 500 meters ahead on the left. The Inuzuka family is born with a keen sense of smell, and with targeted practice since childhood, the nose of Inuzuka's claws is more intelligent than that of Kuromaru. Very good, I found the target so quickly. Keep quiet, everyone is approaching quietly. Yizan lazily followed the crowd and started sneak attacks and battles. On the other side, 4 elite Jonin from Kumogakure village were also advancing in the dark jungle. Their boat stopped on another coastline, so they took another road. Along the way, has killed 3 groups of candidates in seconds. Why can't I find it? What's the hurry? This island is so big, we have 3 days, and I still can't believe it. Remember the time for the antidote, I don't want to drink 2 bottles within 12 hours. As soon as the leader's voice fell, suddenly, there was an explosion in the distance, the expressions of the 4 were condensed, and chakra erupted at the same time, turning into 4 thunder lights and rushing forward. Shish. Elite Jonins are extremely fast, and Kumogakure ninjas who practice Raiden, thunder-style ninjutsu are even faster. In just 2 seconds, the 4 rushed to the explosion. Yuhi hair. 2. The information is correct, and one of them must be the Kyubi, Ninetales Jinchuriki column force. Completely ignoring everyone present, the Kumogakure ninja in the lead stared at Mawako. Compared with Kushina, Mawako's strength is much stronger. In his judgment, Mawako is a Kyubi, nine-tails, person Jinchuriki, column power is very likely. Go on. Except for the two Yuhi-haired girls, the rest, not a single one. As the ace of the Golden Horn Force, this man knows that the villain can't pretend to be coercive, and that pretending to be coercive is easy to be counterattacked. He didn't give Yizan and the others any time to react at all, he directly used all his strength. The aura of the elite Jonin erupted, mixed with violent thunder, and instantly killed Nara Shikaku. At the same time, the other three elite Jonin also burst out with all their strength, and the thunder roared, illuminating the night. The sudden accident, the sudden attack, shocked everyone. No one thought of how four extremely powerful people suddenly appeared. Everyone was shocked, but among them, Yizan's eyes cooled down. His sixth sense was right. Before the exam, he had a hunch that something was going to happen, so he came in disguised as a candidate, and now, the crisis it's coming. Four top elite Jonin, Shikaku, Inoichi, Makoto and Konan were chosen first. Thunder's speed, fast to ultimate. Even Yizan couldn't save four people at the same time. Is it finished? At Yizan's speed, even if he tried his best, he could only save 1 to 2 people, but he didn't want to watch his partner die. At that moment, Yizan burst into rage. Space. Give me face, space is imprisoned. Wow. The golden force field spreads instantly, enclosing all the surrounding space. For a moment, I can't move. Can't move at all. Four Kumogakure ninjas condensed in midair, their eyes widened in shock, their eyes full of disbelief. They almost succeeded, and the leader, with his fist flickering with lightning, was only a few centimeters away from Shikaku. The face fruit can communicate with all elements, whether it is wind, thunder, fire, or space and time. But the communication space itself consumes a lot of physical strength. Not only that, according to the strength of the imprisoned enemy, the physical strength consumed will also increase exponentially, and to imprison the four top elite Jonin, Yizan's physical strength is almost exhausted in an instant. Sage mode, on. Boom. 3.6 Several Yuhi-colored patterns appeared, and Yizan's physical strength soared tenfold. All chakras are transformed into Sage Art chakras, and the destructive breath of Kyubi, Nine Tails, and the divine breath of Sage Art radiated from the violent emotions bloom at the same time. Big Brother Zan is so scary. So strong. Is this the strength of Big Brother Zan? The opponent can kill us in seconds, but Big Brother Zan actually stopped the four of them from attacking in an instant. Come on, teacher. Smelly rascal. In order to save the four partners, Yizan didn't have time to control the size of the force field when he spread the golden force field. The golden force field includes all the little friends. They can't move, they can only look at Yizan, watching with admiration. Go to hell, four chops. Chapter 269 _ haven't you already? The moonlight in the dark night was round and bright. In the jungle of Death Island, Yizan sat motionless on the ground. Canceling the sage mode, endless exhaustion rushed in. The four of them had the strength of Mitarashi Zishao at random. He had no idea that Kumogakure village would dare to send so many people to kidnap Kyubi, Nine Tails people Jinchuriki column force. But that's right, without Yizan, today's ending must be the death of all the friends and Mawako being kidnapped. Death Island is a few hours ocean journey from Kumogakure village, and there are still 3 days until the end of the exam. Even if it is discovered by then, at most, it is believed that the little friend died in the hands of other candidates, and they have no idea that all this is the behavior of Kumogakure village. After the spatial confinement ended, the little friends regained their mobility again, and everyone surrounded Yizan with worried eyes. Brother Zan, how is your health? Are you all right? Brother Zan, don't hurt your body because of us. 30 inches Brother Zan is so strong, nothing will happen. God bless you. Inexplicably, Choza began to pray to the sky, which made Yizan full of black lines. He stood up abruptly, and knocked hard. Boom. Ah, Brother Zan, it hurts. Idiot Choza, I'm not dead yet. Yizan glared at Choza viciously, his feet softened and he almost fell, but fortunately Kushina hugged him in time to prevent Yizan from falling to the ground. Well, it smells so good. Kushina, your murderous part seems to have grown up a bit. Boom. Ah, smelly woman, you hit me again. Humph, I'm just going to hit you. Kushina's face Yuhi squeezed his fists and found that Yizan was almost knocked unconscious by himself, and then rubbed his temples for Yizan a little embarrassed. Stinky rascal, it's not serious after all, be honest. Ooh, but I can't be honest. Who told my Kushina to be so cute? Cut, slick tongue. Kushina spat lightly, and finally let Yizan bury his head in his arms. This nasty bastard kept arching his head, he was like this, and he wanted to take advantage. Years of physical training have achieved good results. Looking back on the fight with Hanzo of the Salamander a few years ago, it was only forbidden to use space ninjutsu in an area, and he fell into a coma. But now, he directly imprisoned a space, and only exhausted all his physical strength, at least not in a coma. This is not the same. It is forbidden to use space ninjutsu, but Hanzo of the Salamander is not allowed to tear the space and use the instant body technique, and today is a completely frozen space, and the difficulty is more than 100 times more difficult. Don't talk about what happened today. The situation involved is very complicated. I will go back and discuss it with the top management. I have heard from the dead monkey before that Kumogakure village has been moving frequently recently. It's the price. But, don't worry now, pass the test first. Shikaku, you can search them, they dare to come to the island of death, they should bring a lot of antidote. There are indeed many medicines. Shikaku searched a lot of storage scrolls and found a total of 20 bottles of antidote, as well as some ninja tools and money. But, Brother Zan, I think there should be more than 4 of them. Oh. Death Island is an isolated island in the ocean. They must have come by boat. Since there are many candidates on the island, they will definitely keep people on the boat to prevent the boat from being driven away by the candidates. Not only that, since they have antidote on them, they will representative, Kumogakure village also participated in this operation. Quote. Shikaku held his chin and followed the clues to deduce some situations one after another. Everyone was accustomed to Shikaku's deduction, but Yizan opened his eyes in surprise, his eyes full of admiration. Okay Shikaku, your IQ of 190 is still a little useless. Not bad, not bad. Quote. Shikaku looked at Yizan blankly, as if he had become Inoichi's twin brother. He turned around like a robot, squatted down, hugged his knees, and buried his head in his knees. A burst of resentful purple energy emanated from him, the background wall turned black and white directly, he hugged his knees, and the voice came out lightly. It turns out that there is still a little bit of use, it turns out that there is still a little bit of use, it turns out that there is still a little bit of use. In any case, everyone was safe in the end. The extra antidote can last a day and a night, so everyone found an open place, surrounded by various detonators and traps, ready to rest for a night and act tomorrow. Shikaku guessed that the Kumogakure Jonin on the boat on the shore should be left alone for the time being, and Yizan must have to clean up. Now he is mainly raising his spirits and waiting for Yizan to recover his physical strength. Namikaze Minato and Yamanaka Inoichi watched the night. The rest either leaned against the tree or slept directly on the branches. After a stressful day, everyone felt a little tired, including Yizan, who was exhausted. Soon fell asleep. The next day, when Yizan opened his eyes, the sun was almost overhead. He yawned lazily, slapped his mouth a few times, and fell into a daze, thinking he was in his own house. Stinky rascal, get up quickly. Humph. What a big slacker. He usually says I'm lazy, but it turns out he's more lazy than me. Kushina squatted down, held Yizan's face and shook it, and found that Yizan was still squinting lazily. She directly grabbed Yizan's cheek, pulled his face outward, pulled it back, and pulled it back again. Come on, it's really fun. Well, stinky woman, let me go. Yizan half opened his eyes lazily, his cheeks pulled to the sides by Kushina. Yesterday's physical exertion made his whole body limp. Although his physical strength has recovered a little, he prefers to be lazy and not move. Stinky rascal, can't you get up? No, get up. Come, let me sleep for a while. Yizan yawned and fell in love with his eyes again. Kushina pouted and wanted to do something. Makoto and Conan came over. Okay, Kushina, let Brother Zan sleep. He was so tired yesterday, let him sleep for a while. Tilda. That's right, the teacher was exhausted yesterday trying to save us. The teacher is so kind to us. Conan, don't be deceived by the stinky hooligan. He is full of bad ideas. Maybe one day, you will be bullied by him. But, Sister Kushina, aren't you already? Chapter 270 Minato, give me face. The sun was a little bit west, and the team was walking in the jungle. Kushina and Conan were at the back of the team, whispering something close to each other, but because the voice was too low, even Yizan couldn't hear it clearly. Conan, you're too much, I almost said it. Sorry, Sister Kushina, can you tell me what that feels like? Conan asked shyly, his eyes full of curiosity. Her words made Kushina's cheeks pierce Yuhi's cheeks, and she quietly looked ahead. After realizing that no one was paying attention, she leaned into Conan's ear and said softly, that kind of feeling is disgusting, I don't want to come again for the third time. Remember, don't be bullied by the stinky hooligans. When this exam is over, the three of us will join forces to prevent the stinky hooligans from taking advantage. Sister Kushina, should we form an alliance? We have already thought about the name of the alliance. It's called, Like Watching Little H Book Girls Group, what do you think? Not so much. The two girls whispered. At the front, Yizan was holding Makoto, and on the right, Namikaze Minato followed Yizan's pace. Brother Zan, do you still remember the Hiraishin scroll you gave me a few years ago? Well, remember, what's wrong? Yizan glanced at Minato curiously, did this kid learn it? Hiraishin is indeed the unique skill of the second-generation Hokage-sama. Although I have worked hard to cultivate in the past few years, I have not made much progress. But you used that space to confine yesterday, I seem to feel a little. Namikaze Minato was a little unconfident, but researched after a few years, he finally got a bit of an eyebrow, and he really didn't want to give up. Yizan has always been very good to his friends. Seeing Namikaze Minato frowning a little cautiously, Yizan patted his shoulder carelessly, showing the appearance of a domineering president. Minato, tell me, what are your requirements? Why are you being polite to me? We are good friends. Yizan's carefree attitude finally made Minato relax. Due to Yizan's stronger and stronger strength, Minato has always been a little afraid that the distance between the two will gradually become farther, but it is obvious that Big Brother Zan is still Big Brother Zan, and there is no change. Brother Zan, I hope you can use yesterday's space confinement for me. Last night's duration was too short. I feel a little bit, but I still feel almost, if you can. No problem. Simply imprisoning Namikaze Minato alone, Yizan will not consume too much physical strength. After all, Minato is only an elite chunin now. Compared with the 4 top elite jonin, each other has 20 Minatos. Space, give me a face, space is imprisoned. The golden force field appeared, and under the control of Yizan's consciousness, it only enveloped Minato. At that moment, Minato found himself unable to move, not even blinking an eye. At this moment, Minato finally felt the situation in the surrounding space, as if an illusory thing suddenly appeared in front of him, and Minato's hard work for several years, the insight of Hiraishin's assiduous research, finally showed a blowout growth at this time. 1 second, 2 seconds. Time passed by, and everyone stood there and didn't understand what the two were doing. At the 28th second when the space was frozen, Yizan suddenly found that his physical strength had increased tenfold. His complexion changed slightly, and he immediately cancelled the fruit ability. I'm sorry, Brother Zan. It's okay, how are you feeling? Success. Success. Well, I found the feeling of space ninjutsu. I was trying to tear space with chakra just now, sorry. The face of Minato's apology. Yizan waved his hand again. In order to fight against Minato's tearing space, Yizan's physical strength in the last second accelerated 10 times, but it was still much worse than the consumption last night. Compared with his physical strength, Yizan is more concerned about the Hiraishin technique. He stared at Minato with piercing eyes, and his tone was a little urgent. Minato, use it and let me see. Wait, Brother Zan, I need to create a special technique. This is not difficult. Although I couldn't use it before, I have already learned the theoretical knowledge. Wait for me. Yizan was excited, and Minato was equally excited. As the second-generation Hokage's unique trick, he certainly knew what it meant by learning. That is to say, from now on, he has inherited the essence of the second generation of Hokage, although it is only a part of it, but he is only 14 years old, so proud. Minato took out a special kunai from his ninja bag. Obviously, he had prepared it long ago. Then, following his understanding just now, he put chakra into the special kunai. After a while, a kunai appeared. Typesetting. Call out. Kuwu broke the sky and flew out of 100 meters at an extremely fast speed. The next moment, Namikaze Minato suddenly appeared in Kuwuban, completely ignoring the distance of 100 meters. Wow, what is this? The little friends never knew that Minato was practicing Hiraishin, and they saw Minato throw a kunai and suddenly appeared 100 meters away. It's the art of Hiraishin, Shikaku, Choza, Inoichi. You must have heard the second-generation Hokage's trick from your parents. This is the art of Hiraishin. So handsome. Envy. I'm envious too. Everyone's eyes were full of gold stars, and they all watched Minato come back from a distance with admiration, not to mention Mawako. She had long been in love with Minato, and now, she was already tugging at the corner of her clothes, and Minato was so handsome that she couldn't extricate herself. Minato. Mawako. You, so handsome. Ah, which? Minato scratched his head shyly, his eyes were erratic, and he was not good at dealing with emotions. At this moment, Yizan suddenly patted Minato on the shoulder, attracting Minato's attention. His eyes flashed with strange colors, and strong anticipation bloomed in his pupils. Minato, you've always wanted to beat me, didn't you? Now that you have learned the S-level forbidden technique Hiraishin, your strength has undergone tremendous changes. I won't bully you, I will fight you with Chunin's chakra. Would you like to? The illusory golden force field spread and turned into a Yuhi color force field. Yizan immediately released chakra, controlled the amount in Chunin, and deliberately provoked Minato's fighting spirit. Minato, give me face and beat me. Chapter 271 The Art of Hiraishin. The team that stood still for about 20 minutes started up again. Facts have proved that no matter how good Minato is, he can't be Yizan's opponent. Minato, are you seriously injured? Seeing Minato with a bruised nose and a swollen face, Mawako was extremely worried. It's okay, Big Brother Zan is merciful, haha. Minato smiled brightly, but his heart was a little bitter. Learning the technique of Hiraishin, his self-confidence really exploded, and Yizan deliberately lowered the chakra, making Minato ignore the deterrence of losing face and bravely choose a duel. Pity that, for Hiraishin's sake, Yizan didn't give Minato a chance, and beat Minato into surrender in minutes. No one knows that at this moment, Yizan's consciousness has been immersed in the sea of consciousness. He flipped to and fro in the sea of consciousness, watching the golden screen keep drooling. Open black lens bracket. The art of Hiraishin, white, 20 ingots close black lens bracket. After the Second Ninja War, Yizan accumulated more than 50,000 yuan of treasures, and upgraded the skills of Hiraishin. In the eyes of the local tyrant Yergo, it is not a problem at all. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Yizan spent 700 ingots in an instant to upgrade the technique of Hiraishin to gold. At that moment, a lot of information about space poured into Yizan's mind, as if he had practiced space ninjutsu for decades, and his understanding of space had reached a realm that was unique in the ninja world. The fruit of face is really bursting. Yizan withdrew from the sea of consciousness, his eyes were fixed on the front 200 meters, and he used chakra to tear the space apart and appeared 200 meters away in an instant. Circled.operator_circled.operator. The sudden appearance stunned everyone, and the rest of the friends were not very clear, but Namikaze Minato, who had been practicing Hiraishin for several years, could not be clear. That, big brother Zan, you just... Shish. Yizan was constantly in the air for a moment, because he was tearing the space directly, so he couldn't see the trajectory at all in that moment. Minato for the last time, and seeing Minato's shocked expression, he twisted his buttocks proudly, and the whole person jumped uncontrollably. Minato, in fact, I already know the Hiraishin technique, and I'm far worse than you. Work hard. Yizan patted Minato on the shoulder. He didn't know how to spell shame at all. Of course Minato didn't know that Yizan was blowing his skill book. He looked at Yizan with admiration and almost regarded Yizan as a god. Brother Zan, it turns out that you already know the technique of Hiraishin. You are so amazing. I have seen the scrolls, and even the second-generation Hokage-sama couldn't do it to your level. You are so amazing. Quote. The rest of the friends don't understand, but Minato understands. Hiraishin must use special kunai coordinates, but Yizan can teleport anywhere out of thin air without using anything. This level has surpassed the second-generation Hokage. In fact, this is also Yizan's good luck. The practice of space ninjutsu is completely dependent on the understanding of space. The entire Hokage world, there are very few people who can use Hiraishin. The second-generation Hokage and Namikaze Minato have high comprehension, but they died too young to practice the Hiraishin technique to ultimate. Another example is the future Namikaze Minato's several guards, Shiranui, and Yivashi. They also have a little space understanding, so they can use the Hiraishin technique, but because their understanding is too low, they are almost useless. Oh yes, you wait for me. As if thinking of something, Yizan suddenly disappeared. 2 seconds later, Yizan appeared again, holding a bloody kunai in his hand. Brother Zan, this is... The Kumogakure ninja on the coast has been resolved, and the ship has been destroyed. Let's continue with the test. Yizan held his head proudly, and kept admiring in his heart. It is indeed a bug-level ninjutsu. After practicing ultimate, he actually traveled 10 kilometers in an instant. Crossing to the coast, the Kumogakure ninja pierced the opponent's heart with a knife in the blind spot behind him. Full-level Hiraishin does not need a special kunai or coordinates. As long as it is a place that can be seen by the eyes, it can tear the space with chakra. The farther the distance, the more chakra is consumed. Just now, Yizan first looked up at the sky, teleported to a few hundred meters in the sky, and then looked at the coast 10 kilometers away. After finding the ship, he teleported directly over. It's easier to come back. He doesn't even have to look at it. He recalls the place just now in his mind, and he just tears the space and returns. Well, the Golden S-rank ninjutsu will always bring unexpected surprises to Yizan. At least at this time, Yizan finally has the confidence to fight against the third-generation Raikage alone. Even if he can't break the Raiden Thunder-style armor of the third-generation Raikage, he will keep it invincible. The days that followed were relatively uneventful. The little friends kept looking for other candidates, and after defeating them, they took the potions. They encountered the remaining 3 Konoha teams. They didn't attack, but they didn't accept the opponent's invitation to form a team. When the Kurigakure village examiner's boat came again, less than 1/5 of the people on the island of death were left. There were originally more than 400 people, but only 80 people survived. It was terrible. A colored light emitted a sharp whistle and exploded into the sky. After the examinees in the jungle saw it, they frantically ran towards the coast. This was the signal agreed before, and the examiner was coming to pick up the person. Yizan did not appear. He used the Hiraishin technique to teleport to a height of 3,000 meters, and looked at the huge ant-sized transport ship below. The futon wind style mode was turned on, and it floated high in the sky. After a few hours, perhaps feeling that the wait was almost over, the transport ship finally started and left the coast. Yizan floated in the air following the transport ship, and after a few more hours, he finally returned to Kurigakure village. But at this time, Yizan is not easy to enter. Every village has set up a super large sensory barrier covering the whole village. Once Yizan breaks in, it will definitely cause unnecessary trouble. About it, he used the Horaitian technique to teleport into the grass not far from the gate of Kurigakure, took out the certificate of instructor Konoha from his arms, and swaggered in. Chapter 272 _ Let Sarutobi call the shots. The second round of the Chunin exam is over, and the next is a one-on-one duel. This time is the five-nation joint examination held every 3 years. Each country will gather some elites into this examination. Although the strength of the small partners is very strong, not all of them have entered the finals. Kushina and Inuzuka Claw faced a powerful enemy in the first knockout round and voluntarily conceded defeat. Makoto and Choza happened to meet Minato and Mawako in the knockout round. There was no way, no matter how they fought, they would lose. They abstained and let Minato and Mawako advance. Shikaku got lazy and automatically abstained. Inoichi successfully advanced. Konan was young, although her strength was good, but she lost in the second round of knockout due to experience problems. In the end, Konoha advanced to the final with Minato, Mawako and Inoichi. The finals will not start until a month later. This is a special situation for the five-nation joint entrance examination. First, it is to wait for nobles from faraway places. Second, it is to develop the economy. At least this month, the economy of Kurigakure village will be greatly improved. Big improvement. Yizan's team failed, and he didn't want to stay here any longer. With Jiraiya and a group of elite Jonin around, there was no problem with safety, and this was the five-nation joint test. No matter what happened to Kurigakure village, he wouldn't dare to mess around. I'm gone, back to Konoha. Don't say hello to the 3 generations of Mizukage . Che, what hello, just his strength. Yizan said him, referring to the 3 generations of Mizukage. Ghost Lantern Wanyu died in the Land of Thunder a few years ago. Of course, Kurigakure village will choose a new Mizukage. Yizan does not know it, nor does he know its name. According to the memory of his previous life, he vaguely remembers that it is the follower of the first generation of Mizukage, and feels its momentum. Not even cage level. A quasi-cage level expert is considered the strongest in the current country of water, but the strength of the third generation Mizukage is just a little bit stronger than Jiraiya, not worth mentioning. Hey, brat, what's not worth mentioning? If he's not worth mentioning, wouldn't I be even more worthless? Huh, Jiraiya, haven't you always known? In my eyes, you've never been worth mentioning. Damn. Believe it or not, I beat you. Boom. A loud bang, Jiraiya was punched into the ground by Yizan. He clapped his hands in disdain, and walked towards the gate of Kurigakure village with the 3 girls. You still beat me, you really haven't taught me a lesson for a few days, and your skin is itchy. Humph, you still beat me. Looking at the back of Yizan's gradual departure, Sarutobi Shinosuke on the side exhaled softly. Only at this time did he really feel Yizan's strength. He was able to punch the mad ghost Jiraiya with 1 punch. Personally. Not only strength, but also an irresistible aura. For example, at this moment, Jiraiya raised her head pitifully and looked at Yizan's back. Apart from crying, she couldn't raise any emotions of resistance at all. Woo, stinky brat, when I get stronger, I will definitely get my revenge back. The Chunin exam in Kurigakure village is still going on, and Yizan has returned to Konoha with his 3 daughters. Dead monkey, you have to call the shots for me. In Hokage's office, Yizan kept slapping the table. He pouted in grievance and looked extremely pitiful. Shaoshuan, who provoked you? Sarutobi's eyes widened in surprise. In his heart, Only Yizan could bully others in this world, and he had never seen Yizan bullied by others. Humph! It's the ninjas from the Kingdom of Thunder. In this 5-nation joint examination, the Kingdom of Thunder actually sent 5 top elites, Jonin, to kidnap Mawako. If it wasn't for me to protect them all the way, my Kushina, my Makoto, my Konan. It's all gone. In Yizan's heart, her little girlfriends are his heart. If something really happened, he would cry to death. Oh, the Kingdom of Thunder sent 5 top elite Jonin to kidnap Mawako. This is no small matter. Come on, call Danzo and the 2 advisors. Tell Danzo that his son was bullied, urgent information. Sarutobi ordered the 3 hidden Anbu to leave the office immediately, and 10 minutes later, a violent chakra approached from afar, and rushed into the office with a boom. Xiaozan, what's wrong? Danzo's face was full of tension, but when he found Yizan lying on the sofa safe and sound, he breathed a sigh of relief. As long as his son was fine, everything would be fine. After a while, the 2 consultants also came to the office. Seeing that everyone was there, Sarutobi coughed lightly and said slowly, Xiaozan just came back, and the news he brought back is in the 5-Nation Federation exam. Kumogakure village sent 5 top elites to kidnap Uzumaki Mawako. What do you think? Quote. Stupid monkey, you left out the most important thing. Not only did they kidnap Mawako, they almost killed all the Konoha candidates, almost killed my Kushina, my Makoto, my Konan. Do you know the priorities? Quote. Sarutobi had black lines all over his head. Although he wanted to say that Kyubi, 9 tails, Jinchuriki, column power is important, he opened his mouth in Yizan's rebuke, but he didn't dare to say it. Xiaozan, let's talk about unimportant things first, and then let's talk about your little girlfriend's business, okay? Danzo followed Yizan's words, then looked at Sarutobi, and continued, the Kumogakure village has been making small moves in the past few years. When the 3 generations of Reikage were defeated, they may have been unconvinced and wanted to make a comeback. In recent years, their actions have become more and more a lot, just didn't expect that they've already put their minds on Kyubi, 9 tails. Once, there will be 2 times. If it wasn't for Xiaozan this time, Kyubi, 9 tails, Jinchuriki column force has been captured by Kumogakure village. Not only that, but our next generation of Konoha Ino Shikacho will all die in their hands. This kind of thing must not be tolerated. It was Homura Mitokado who spoke. He pushed down his glasses slightly. His face was very serious. Sarutobi, I think it's time to strike the Kumogakure village with thunder. Objection. If we take action, the Kingdom of Thunder will surely unite the 3 kingdoms of earth, wind, and water again, and it will be another ninja war. I think we can issue a warning to Kumogakure village. Kaharu, I don't think warnings are of any use. Everyone knows the virtues of those Kumogakure people. Indeed, we can't openly take action, but if we don't teach the Kumogakure village a lesson, they will only intensify their bullying on Konoha. Chapter 273-Kiba for Kiba_. In the northeastern forest of the Fire Country, more than a dozen black shadows shuttled through the dense forest. Hatake Sakumo is at the forefront. He is wrapped in Anbu combat uniform, and unless he is familiar with him, it is impossible to tell who he is. Yizan and Kushina are in the middle, followed by a dozen people, all members of Root. The Kingdom of Lei did not dare to provoke Konoha openly, nor could Konoha attack the Kingdom of Lei openly. Yizan discussed with the 4 senior executives and unanimously decided to take the exact same revenge. The 5 Jonins from Kumogakure village didn't go back. The 3rd generation Reikage must have guessed that there was an accident. They were also cautious. For 3 months, they did not allow the 2-tailed Jinchuriki column to come out to do the task. Sakumo, is the news accurate? The news is accurate. In order to attract the 2-tailed Jinchuriki column force, in the past 3 months, we have sent countless people and spent a lot of money to release CA-level tasks in Kumogakure village. They have long run out of manpower. Jinchuriki column forces sent out, it's just a matter of time, after all. Who told us Konoha to be rich? Hatake Sakumo smiled. All of Konoha, current development is because of Yi Zan's collapse plan. As one of the diehards who love Konoha deeply, Hitaki Sakumo admires and appreciates Yi Zan from the bottom of his heart. How far is it? Through the country of soup and the country of the moon. In 2 days, we only need to ambush at the border of the country of thunder and wait for the other party to take the bait. Very good. Kushina, how about you? Are you okay? No problem, my sister can become a Kyuubi, 9 tails Jinchuriki, column force. I'm definitely not worse than my sister. 2 days later, the border of the Land of Thunder. This is a relatively narrow canyon, only about 10 meters wide, with rock cliffs dozens of meters high on both sides. Yi Zan and others were ambushed on the cliffs. The sun gradually shifted from the east to the west, and 6 hours had passed. Everyone waited quietly without making any sound. At this moment, Hatake Sakumo's eyes narrowed, and he moved his body back. His tone was a little dignified. Come on. At the far end of the canyon, a few people appeared. Except for an ordinary person who looked like a wealthy businessman, the other people exuded a strong aura. 2 Chunin, 1 Jonin, and 2-tailed Jinchuriki, column force, the configuration is good. Yi Zan chuckled, and also shrank his head back. They only needed to calculate the walking speed of each other. Revealing the head is easy to be discovered by the other party. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Yi Zan and Hitaki Sakumo counted the time silently in their hearts. When the time reached the 5th minute, Yi Zan and Hitaki Sakumo looked at each other and nodded at the same time. Go. Shish. More than a dozen black shadows rose into the sky and fell instantly, surrounding the people below. Enemy attack. No, you are Konoha ninjas. As if he understood something, the pupils of the 2-tailed Jinchuriki, column force shrank sharply, and the power of the tailed beast burst out in an instant. He figured it out, he was caught up in Konoha's conspiracy. Don't need to say anything, it's really an idiot to ask why. The current 2-tailed Jinchuriki, column force is not Yugito, but a man. Yugito is the next generation, but today, Yi Zan is determined to take revenge on the Kingdom of Thunder. This 2-tailed, he cannot return it to the Kingdom of Thunder. Kill. With an order from Yi Zan, except for one, Root, who stayed in place to protect Kushina, the rest of the Roots were killed. Together with the cage-level powerhouse Hitaki Sakumo and Yi Zan, they all killed them. 2 Chunins and 1 Jonin in Kumogakure village were instantly killed, and the 2-tailed Jinchuriki column force was frightened and angry. Life and death crisis. He exploded all his power, knocked back 3 Root members with 1 blow, and frantically moved towards the far side. Run away. Can you run away? We carefully selected the place. Do you still want to run? Dirt, give me a face, stand up. Rumbling, rumbling. The earth shook, and in the eyes of everyone in shock, the land a few hundred meters away suddenly rose, forming a huge earth wall without gaps, blocking the canyon with cliffs on the left and right sides tightly, blocking the 2-tailed people. Jinchuriki column force escape. However, Jinchuriki column Leaverway is not a rookie. He immediately stepped on the dirt wall and climbed up, but in the next second, something even more shocking happened. The illusory golden force field that no one can see spreads, and the earth wall that has risen to a height of tens of meters suddenly develops horizontally and extends in multiple directions, directly forming a cover, which covers the entire sky and blocks 2 without any dead ends. Taito Jinchuiki column force all escape routes. What kind of power is this? Break it to me. The 2-tailed man Jinchuriki column drank violently and hit the earth wall with all his strength, and a large area of the earth wall collapsed, shattering a large area, a deep pit of tens of meters. However, what came into sight was still the earth wall, as if endless. There is no end in sight. If you stand at the top of the canyon, you will find that the thickness of this earth wall is increasing. The illusory golden force field has enveloped a range of several hundred meters. Even the 2-tailed Jinchuriki column force cannot break such a thick wall. Just when the 2-tailed Jinchuriki column tried to attack the earth wall again, a dazzling thunder burst, the ultimate, unable to react. The breath of death spreads into the bone marrow, and the pupils of the two-tailed Jinchuiki column force shrink sharply, condensing all the chakras in the back. PFFT. White light flashed, blood splashed, and the white short knife flashing thunder smashed the tailed beast's coat, and cut a huge gap in the back of the two-tailed Jinchuiki column force. If it hadn't been for him to concentrate all the chakra in the end, it has now become two corpses. Konoha White Fang. It's you. The world-famous Konoha White 4.3 Kiba, unique samurai-style attack, combined with the white short sword and Raiden, thunder style, the two-tailed Jinchuiki column knows that if they don't use the last resort today, I'm afraid they will fall. But, if the last resort is really used, he will die. There is no chance of surviving. Puff. Ah. Was another white light, and the two-tailed Jinchuiki column screamed. His right hand, from the elbow, was cut off by Hatake Tsukumo. At this moment, more than a dozen roots also rushed in front of the two-tailed Jinchuiki column force. In the face of the situation where there was no escape and then there were chasing troops, the two-tailed Jinchuiki column force finally went crazy. Konoha Chop Suey. Don't think you've got me. It's a big deal. It's over. The seal of the two tails is completely lifted. Chapter 274_seal success. Roar. A huge cat-shaped monster roared. The blue-black chakra was burning frantically, exuding a terrifying murderous aura. Two-tailed Jinchuiki column force knew that he was doomed, and at the last moment, he lifted all the seals on his body, that is to say, two-tailed, free. The people of Kumogakure village are short-tempered and tend to go to extremes. This is not a semi-liberation similar to the hypnosis technique, but a complete lifting of the seal and freeing away. Losing the tailed beast, the human Jinchuiki column force itself will die, and with Hatake Tsukumo, Yi-zan, and the lineup of a dozen elite jonin, he knows that if he doesn't do this, he will eventually die too. But even if I die, I want you all to be buried with me. Boom. The shocking explosion sounded, and the black and blue chakra ball instantly smashed the human Jinchuiki column force. Killing the human Jinchuiki column force, Orway roared up to the sky like a vent. For this person who had been imprisoned for a long time, it wanted to kill it for a long time. And just as Orway roared up to the sky, Hatake Tsukumo suddenly attacked. Cage-level chakra condensed on the short knife, condensed into the ultimate thunder, and was forcibly transformed into a dazzling pure white by Hatake Tsukumo. Hatake. One slash. Swish. The white sword light flashed, and the small half of the tail fell off, and the tail of the second tail was directly cut off by Hatake Tsukumo. Although the essence of the tailed beast is a chakra group, the tail instantly turns into a chakra and dissipates when it falls to the ground, but the pain is really transmitted to the soul of the second tail. The severe pain of the body being cut off, make Orway extremely painful. Ah! Orway screamed, fell to the ground and rolled over and over again. It has never been injured, let alone the severe pain of cutting off its tail. Stupid humans. Die. Nourishes. With a piercing sound, 7 black and purple chakra balls appeared beside Orway, and the chakra balls flew out so fast that they even formed a phantom in the air, closing off all the escape routes for Hatake Tsukumo. The complete two tails are not comparable to the previous Jinchuiki column power state. Although it is not as powerful as Kyubi, 9 tails, its chakra volume is far more than cage level. Facing the rapidly attacking chakra ball, Hatake Tsukumo put a lot of Raiden, thunder-style blessings on his feet. He is a speed-type cage level himself. Although Orway's attack is fast, it is not impossible to avoid it. Just when Orway attacked Hatake Tsukumo and focused all his attention on Hatake Tsukumo, Yi-zan finally shot. Sage mode, on. The art of Hiraishin. Swish. There was no concept of distance at all, no trajectory at all. Yi-zan instantly appeared behind Orway's head, facing this huge-tailed beast. Yi-zan was as small as a bug. But at this moment, Yi-zan's aura reached the extreme. He stared at him and used the strongest attack he could use so far. Double the heart of the strong. Senpo, Sage Art. Futon, Wind Style. Spiral Thrust. The strongest S-rank single attack that was enhanced several times by Sage Mode was doubled by the heart of the strong. Yizan shot suddenly, the blue fingertips easily penetrated Erwei's brain, and then... Whoa! A huge whirlwind erupted from the fingertips, tearing most of Erwei's head into pieces. The broken head fell to the ground, turned into a chakra and disappeared. Although the tailed beast will not die, its body is a chakra. The tail was first cut off by Hokage Sakumo, and most of its head was chopped by Yizan. Its breath plummeted, and the pain of crushing its head was truly reflected in its soul. This is an indescribable pain. This kind of pain actually caused Erwei to go into shock for a few seconds. This opportunity, Kushina finally stepped forward, quickly hand seal, and a large number of chakra-solidified golden chains emerged from her body. Seal. Adamantine sealing chains. The shock's second tail was entangled in the chain without any resistance, but Kushina's strength was too weak. Although the Uzumaki clan gave her more than 10 times the amount of chakra of the same level, she was unable to pull it in the face of the tailed beast. Take all the shots and kill me. Senpo, Sage Art. Futon, Wind Style. Spiral Thrusts. Yizan shouted violently, stabbed his finger at Erwei again, and crushed Erwei's remaining head. Hokage Sakumo broke out with all his strength and slashed off Erwei's other tail with a knife. More than a dozen elite Jonin level roots, at the same time, all kinds of ninjutsu hit Erwei's body, blowing Erwei's body uneven, and his momentum continued to decline. As for Erwei, he almost woke up from the state of conscious shock, but the sudden attack once again caused severe pain in his soul. The consciousness could not bear the pain, and instinctively entered a state of shock. Only in this state, its consciousness will not be destroyed, at least it will not be tortured into madness by severe pain. The amount of chakra that surpasses cage level is extraordinary. I don't know how long it took. When Erwei's breath dropped to Jonin, the golden chain pulled hard, Erwei turned into a black blue light and rushed into Kushina. Body. 4 elephant seals. Yizan teleported to Kushina's side and slapped Kushina's abdomen with a palm. After a while, the seal of the 4 elephants was formed, and the fragile Erwei did not even resist. Kushina. Kushina didn't hesitate, and immediately handed the seal. In an instant, there were 2 lines, one horizontal, one vertical, and 2 lines on the 4-image seal on her abdomen, as if the entire seal was locked. Audiovisual seal. On the border of the country of thunder, a group of people quietly passed through the country of the moon and the country of soup, and returned to the country of fire. The seal that Kushina finally blessed on the seal of the 4 elephants was created by herself, and was specially designed to seal the vision and hearing of the tailed beast. In other words, Erwei is not only imprisoned in Kushina's body, but also completely unable to see and hear anything from the outside world, becoming a real dark room. Unfortunately, this seal must be used at the same time as the 4-image seal is formed. Mawako can't do anything about it. QB 9 Tails can still see the outside picture through her eyes, which is a pity. 2 Tails are undead tailed beasts, imprisoned in Kushina's body, and their strength will slowly recover. It's a pity that the seal of the 4 elephants is a special seal technique for sealing tailed beasts. As long as Kushina does not take the initiative to unseal it, Erwei will not be able to come out for a lifetime. Chapter 275-Cheap. In the lounge of Shimura's house, Kushina was leaning on the sofa, frowning from time to time, and stretching out from time to time. Her eyes were empty, her consciousness was not here. After a while, the focal length of her eyes finally converged, and when she saw Yizan who was sleeping beside her, she couldn't help being a little angry. Oops! With a scream, Yizan sat up from the sofa in an instant. He rubbed his arms at Kiba and looked at Kushina very angry. Stinky woman, why are you pinching me? I'm sleeping. Sleep, you no sleep in one day, are you a pig? Kushina pouted, perhaps feeling that she had done a bit too much just now, and took the initiative to rub Yizan's arms. Stinky rascal, it's not good for me, don't help me think of a way. If you don't tell me, what are you going to tell me? It's not a big deal, I just want to use the power of the tailed beast completely and not be eroded by it. As soon as I entered, Orway kept scolding me and didn't listen to me at all. Oh, it turns out to be this thing. It's a little troublesome. Yizan shrugged and said casually, isn't Orway a huge cat? 243, use the meow stick. Funny meow. Well, you know the fishing rod, right? It's the part where you hold the handle, and the other end is connected to a long wire, which is tied with some feathers or whatever, dangling in front of the cat. It's your consciousness anyway, you are in, you can make whatever you want inside. Quote. Yizan was just joking, but Kushina took it seriously. She kissed Yizan happily, and leaned back on the sofa again, her eyes wandering, her consciousness immersed in her body. At this moment, Orway, who was locked in the cage, had already bent down and was ready to sleep. It yawned tiredly. In order to recover chakra, it consumed a lot of energy. However, it has not been a minute since it fell. Kushina reappeared in front of it, and at that moment, Yuhi's eyes were bloody, releasing a murderous aura. Woman, let me out. Kill, kill, kill. I warn you, order you, let me out immediately. Let me out now and I might leave you with a whole body, if you. Suddenly, Orway's eyes widened. In front of it, a rod composed of chakra was connected to a line, and the line was tied with feathers made by chakra, and it swayed, making it move a little bit. No, not right. What is this? Why do you want to pounce? No, can't. Although Orway resisted with all his might, its body rushed over uncontrollably, and instantly grabbed the dangling feathers to play and bite. It lasted for a full 5 seconds, and finally shattered the feathers made by chakra. Hey, why is it gone? It blinked its eyes suspiciously, and its eyes were full of regret, but it seemed to react, its eyes bloody Yuhi again, and cursed at Kushina. Shoo! Another meow stick appeared in front of it. Although it resisted it, it felt so comfortable to pounce on it just now. Wrong. I can't do that, I'm a dignified cat. I'm serious. I want to be cold. Damn woman keeps looking at me. I can't. Forget it, just this time, let's not do it next time. Thinking of this, Orway suddenly felt relaxed physically and mentally. It jumped up happily and played happily. An hour later, Kushina opened his eyes excitedly, saw Yizan who was snoring beside him, and kissed him at once. Being kissed by Kushina for a while, Yizan finally opened his eyes. He scratched his head stupidly, his eyes were full of doubts. What's wrong? Thank you for the way you taught me just now, I succeeded. Kushina smiled happily, hugged Yizan's neck again, and took the initiative to send her incensed lip. This time, after kissing for a full 5 minutes, she slowly backed away. Kushina's face was full of Yuhi, and she found that Yizan's hand had started to move erratically. Hey, bad guy, don't be like this, Makoto and Conan are here. She whispered. Her shy and cute appearance made Yizan like it more and more. Under that kind of like, something popped up and hit Kushina's body. Don't do that. Kushina's face. Yuhi got up. Of course she knew what it was, and because of this, she didn't dare to stay in Yizan's arms for another second, for fear that Yizan would be fierce and eat herself. Kushina didn't notice that, at this moment, Yizan's eyes were already burning with an unquenchable flame. He lay on the sofa and let Kushina get up, but his eyes were fixed on Kushina, scanning Kushina from top to bottom. Countless times. The moon is dark and the wind is high, the cold moonlight hangs in the sky, and a few stars shine in the night. Danzo didn't go home today. He should be dealing with some shady documents at the root base. Apart from Yizan, there were only a few girls left in Shimura's big room. The girls were sleeping in their own rooms, but Yizan kept his eyes open and a smirk on the corner of his mouth. Seeing that the clock on the wall passed 12 o'clock in the evening, Yizan suddenly got up, opened the door tiptoeingly, and walked through the aisle with all his strength without making a sound. Then, he quietly and slowly came to Kushina's bedroom, controlled chakra to unlock the door, gently opened the bedroom door, and walked in silently. Kushina was already asleep. She pouted her mouth, and made a small snort from time to time. A trace of dream saliva was on the corner of her mouth, as if she dreamed of something delicious. She smashed her mouth, looking extremely cute. Yizan went up to her shop gently, lifted her quilt gently, and got in, and then his hands began to move dishonestly. The strange feeling on her body caused the same situation to appear in Kushina's dream. At first, she thought it was a dream, but for some reason, she suddenly thought of Yizan's behavior during the day-to-day, opened her eyes quickly, and found the sight in front of her face. Shish, don't make a sound. Yizan covered Kushina's mouth that was about to scream, tightly, so that Kushina couldn't scream, but after finding out that it was Yizan, she gradually calmed down. As Yizan moved her hand away, she didn't cry, she just stared at Yizan silently, feeling the love in Yizan's eyes. Yuhi dizzy appeared on her pretty face. She was always bold and took the initiative to hug Yizan, put his head together. Stinky hooligan, tonight, it's cheaper for you. Chapter 276-Sticky Week. In the early morning, the birds stood on the branches outside the window and chirped. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Mawako got up early. After washing, she was ready to wake up her sister. Dong dong, dong dong dong. Sister, are you still sleeping? Get up soon. Dong dong dong. The bedroom door kept knocking, and finally woke Kushina, who was sleeping soundly. Looking at Yizan, who was still sleeping beside her, she raised her neck and shouted outside, "Sister, I had insomnia last night and only fell asleep for a few minutes. Today don't call me, I want to sleep until the afternoon." "Ah, why are you insomnia? Hey, forget it, go to sleep, don't disturb you." With the sound of footsteps leaving, the bedroom fell silent again. Kushina sighed softly, turned her head, and found that Yizan's bright eyes were wide open and his eyes shifted. "It's all your fault. Last night was so fierce." It was the first time that people didn't consider them at all. She smacked Yizan lightly, and put her head on Yuhi's face. "Hey, I'm sorry baby, who called you too cute and cute, I couldn't help it for a while." "Oh, do you mean to blame me? How could it be? It's all my fault. Come on, let my husband hug him, does it still hurt?" Yizan gently hugged Kushina into his arms. Seeing the light, smooth beauty in his arms, he felt again. "Disgusting. Don't think about it, you stinky rascal." Kushina noticed Yizan's reaction. She spat lightly. "The madness last night still hurts even now." The two held each other like this. After a while, Kushina yawned. She was crazy last night until the middle of the night, and the pain from the first time made her very tired now. "Baby, just sleep if you want, I'll accompany you Tilda." "Well, you must accompany me. When I wake up, I must see you." Kushina murmured softly, her voice getting smaller and smaller. She yawned again like a kitten, and arched in Yizan's arms, and after a while, even breathing sounded. Kushina fell asleep, but Yizan didn't. He just held the beautiful woman in his arms like this, motionless, feeling a little emotional. He has been so happy in his life. Since Tsunade received an A-level mission 2 weeks ago and was not in Konoha, the next week, Yizan and Kushina were tired of being together all the time, snuggling on the sofa during the day or going out shopping, and quietly having sex at night. And Makoto didn't find it, but Konan found it. Every day she looked at Kushina with a strange look, with a trace of inexplicable emotion. It wasn't until a week later that Yizan went to Hokage's office because of Anbu's news that Kushina finally found Konan. She was about to explain something, but Konan spoke quietly and interrupted Kushina's explanation. "Sister Kushina, remember when we were on Dead Island, we said we would resist the teacher's bullying together?" "Ah, that. Ha ha ha. Sorry Konan, I was forced to." "Forced? Sister Kushina, it's time for you to make excuses. From what I know about the teacher, if you don't want to, the teacher will never force you. You betrayed our offensive and defensive alliance." "Ah, that. ___, I'm sorry, I suddenly agreed that night, ha 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 ha. Kushina's wide-eyed smirk made Conan pouted angrily, and at this moment, Mawako and Makoto came out of the kitchen with a tray of snacks each, and found that they were sneaking, and couldn't help but be a little puzzled. Conan, Kushina, what are you doing? Makoto asked. We didn't do anything, just chatting, ha 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 ha. Kushina had a ghost in her heart, and immediately laughed exaggeratedly, with that idiot look of, I'm definitely covering something up. Only Makoto believed it. Alright, you two, let's have something to eat. Mawako could see at a glance what her sister was covering up, but since she didn't want everyone to know, she changed the subject and finally turned Makoto's attention. Yes, let's all have some snacks. Conan, come and eat too, I made your favorite biscuits Tilda. Conan and Kushina have their own thoughts, Mawako's face is full of doubts, Makoto is happily eating snacks, while Hokage's office is full of joy. Look, haha, there's a warning letter from Kumogakure village. It is said that we kidnapped the two-tailed Jinchuriki column force, and his two-tailed Jinchuriki column force died at the border of the Land of Thunder. What does it matter to us? I won't admit it without any evidence. Sarutobi laughed triumphantly, and finally managed to express the evil in his heart. Jiraiya on the side gave a thumbs up to Yizan in admiration. He didn't know what happened on Dead Island. Sarutobi learned from his mouth. Stinky boy, yes, Kiba for Kiba, so fast. Humph, don't even look at who I am, if Konoha were all slackers like you, they'd be gone, slacker Jiraiya. Hey, stinky boy, what do you mean? He was an ugly ghost before, why did he become a slacker again? Oh, you admit that you are ugly. Jiraiya is speechless. Compared to the name of Ugly Jiraiya, slacker, seems to be a little better, doesn't it? Oh no, why do I want these titles? I'm a madman. Konoha's noble madman Jiraiya understands. Tisk tisk tisk. I thought of some kind of noble idiot beast in Konoha, idiot. Who are you calling an idiot? I have to ask again who I say is an idiot. I think you are no longer worthy of the IQ of an idiot, mentally retarded. Damn. Yizan and Jiraiya started spraying each other in the office like this. Sarutobi sighed helplessly, shook his head, took his pipe, and started processing documents by himself. Hokage is not easy these days. Dead person. Just as Yizan and Jiraiya kept on spraying each other, there was a sudden knock on the door of the office. Dong dong dong. Please come in. Sarutobi looked up and said, and then the door was pushed open, and the tall and strong Kakuzu walked in from the door. Lord Hokage, yo, Shimura-gen, Jiraiya, good morning. Yizan, circle.operator_circle.operator. Chapter 277 _____. Kakuzu for a long time. Be precise, since Yizan has been practicing by the river with Might Guy this year, or bullying girls at home or having sex with Tsunade, he has not seen Kakuzu for 1 year and 3 months. There was no war, nothing happened, the carefree Yizan had long forgotten about Kakuzu. If he hadn't suddenly seen Kakuzu today, he would have almost forgotten that Konoha had Kakuzu. About Kakuzu's current situation, but seeing Kakuzu take the initiative to greet him with a smile on the corner of his mouth, it is obvious that his severe depression has been effectively relieved, although it is not completely relieved, it has improved a lot. According to the memory of the previous life, Kakuzu was a person who loved the village very much and treated people with kindness before he was abandoned by Taki Shinobu village. In the end, he failed. He dragged his severely injured body back to Taki Ninja village, but was betrayed and abandoned by the entire village. From then on, he lost everything and lived in the underground black market all day long. As the only pursuit in life. However, since Yizan used psychology to guess Kakuzu's heart and broke Kakuzu's false pursuit of money, his depression has reached a hopeless situation. Even if Kakuzu is kept in Konoha, and even if Kakuzu recovers to a normal body after 2 years of treatment with Orochimaru, even if it is counted from the end of the treatment, another year and 3 months have passed. Is the change too fast? Hey, Kakuzu, I haven't seen you for so long, how are you doing recently? Looking at your mental outlook, it's pretty good. Although he hadn't seen each other for more than a year, Yizan didn't feel that he was bored. He walked straight to Kakuzu, pinched Kakuzu's abdominal muscles, and couldn't help but smacked his mouth. Yes, you are big, you are muscles, yes. Women in their 30s have a fatal attraction. Honestly, how many women have you made over the past year? I didn't. Kakuzu's face Yuhi is a little embarrassed. He has been in Konoha for more than 3 years in total. He is completely used to Konoha's life and can fully feel it. Konoha has a kindness and friendship from the inside out. It is from Senju Hashirama, will inherit there. Yizan didn't know Kakuzu's current situation, but Sarutobi knew that Sarutobi was of course happy that Konoha had a cage-level powerhouse. He knocked on his pipe and finally attracted Yizan's attention. Okay Xiaoshuan, Kakuzu is here today. He should be here to take the quests, right? Thank you for your hard work. Even though he is of the same rank as me, he has to take these B and C rank quests. It's okay, Lord Hokage, you don't have to blame yourself. I'm doing well now. Today I want to get a B level mission with a relatively high salary, because my child is going to be born. Kakuzu's face was full of Yuhi, and he stuttered constantly. Sarutobi knew, but Yizan's eyes widened in shock. His eyes were full of disbelief. Kakuzu, what did you just say? Wow, you big pervert. It's been over a year since you came out of the Orochimaru lab, and the baby is about to be born. No, listen to my explanation, No need to explain. Kakuzu, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person, tisk tisk tisk. As expected of a guy the first agree with, let me just say, it feels good to have a wife. Ha 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 ha. Yizan crossed his waist and raised his head to laugh, which made Kakuzu's eager face suddenly stunned. It turned out that Yizan was not trying to scold himself, but Kakuzu, it's good to get used to it. Xiaoshuan is this kind of character. Oh right, there is a B-level task with a reward of 150,000 taels to protect a wealthy businessman from the country of birds. Since this person is offered a reward on the black market, it will be attacked by a lot of Chunin-level wandering ninjas, but for you, it is not difficult. Quote. 150,000 taels is the highest reward for a B-level mission. Kakuzu nodded gratefully. After regaining a new life from the despair of destruction, he was grateful for everything around him. Just when Kakuzu was about to receive the task, Yizan suddenly interrupted Kakuzu. Wait. Xiaozan, what's wrong? Dead monkey, I feel that it would be a waste of his talents to continue to let Kakuzu perform low-level tasks. I suggest that Kakuzu manage Konoha's finances so that the money can be used optimally. In Hokage's office, a few more people came. Danzo, the 2 advisors, looked at Kakuzu with a little scrutiny, not understanding why Xiaoshuan suddenly let Kakuzu manage the finances. This is a big event involving the future development of Konoha. Xiaozan, why did you let Kakuzu manage the finances? In terms of economic development, although I can't match your brain, my level is considered to be the top among the 5 major countries. Homura Mitokado pushed his glasses. His tone was a little heavy. I don't care about this right, but I just feel that it is too disrespectful to ask an unknown stranger to take my place suddenly. Oops, Elder Menyon, you are our Konoha's big advisor, and you are my respected elder, how could I not respect you? But I know Kakuzu's financial ability is very strong, so I recommend him to take care of Konoha's finances. And I just recommend it. As for whether it will work or not, it depends on everyone's opinions. If you doubt Kakuzu's skills, try it out. Yizan trotted over and pinched Homura Mitokado's shoulders. That rare obedient appearance finally made Homura Mitokado feel relieved. He raised his hand and wanted to rub Yizan's head, but found that before he knew it, Yizan had already he is tall. Hey, Xiaozan, Before you know it, you've all grown up, and we are all old. Homura Mitokado sighed a little, but his words were recognized by everyone. Sarutobi's work is the most tiring, and the aging speed is the fastest. Although there is no change in his face, there are already a few white hairs. Homura Mitokado and Danzo are the best, almost unchanged. What about Kaharu Udatane? Maybe women are getting old fast, with a little crow's feet at the corners of the eyes. Everyone watched Yizan grow up, and they doted on it very much. Since Yizan made a request, they no longer refused and agreed to let Kakuzu give it a try. If done well, Homura Mitokado will let go of the financial power in his hand, change from the first to the second, and help Kakuzu manage the finances from the side. Since that's the case, the matter is settled, and the salary is not a problem. Because of the huge amount of funds in Konoha, Kakuzu, your monthly salary is in addition to the fixed 500,000 taels. If you manage your money properly, you will get how much money you earn from it. 1%. Chapter 278-Forbearance. Konoha killed the two-tailed Jinchuriki column force. Although there is no evidence, the Kumogakure village knows that the two tails are definitely killed by Konoha. After all, during the five-nation joint examination, the third-generation Reikage sent 5 top elites to kidnap Uzumaki Mawako. If the elites did not return, they must have died on the island of death. Third generation of Reikage did not know the details of what happened in the middle. In the following months, the number of commissions from Kumogakure village increased sharply, as if they were deliberately luring the ninjas in the village to go out to do tasks. The delegation disappears. Boom. The fist with the big mouth smashed the expensive desk made of oak. The third generation of Reikage glared in anger, and the terrifying murderous pressure made everyone dare not look up. Damn Sarutobi, I've done everything, but I don't admit it. I'm so stupid, really. I felt something strange at first, but I didn't expect that Konoha would dare to do such a thing. Don't they see themselves as benevolent? These bastards. His hair and beard were constantly rushing upwards due to the extreme anger of 30, and the shreds of thunder burst out of his body uncontrollably. Obviously, he was on the verge of eruption. It wasn't your own carelessness at the beginning. I have reminded you several times that you should be careful about Konoha's conspiracy. Who told you not to listen? What did you say? Swish. The terrifying momentum skyrocketed again, and the third-generation Reikage suddenly stood up, forming a phantom and instantly rushed in front of an elite Jonin, grabbed the opponent's neck, and suddenly threw it into the sky. Boom. With a loud bang, a hole was suddenly broken at the top of the office made of granite, and a black shadow flew out, flying more than 200 meters high, paused in midair for a second, and then began to land. Bang! There was another loud noise, and he tragically fell into the office. Fortunately, this person is a powerful physique master. He was only slightly injured by the third generation of Reikage. Venting, the third generation of Reikage's anger finally subsided. He snorted, turned back to the office chair, sat down with his hands on his knees. His eyes became more and more cold. Judging from the battle traces on the border of the Land of Thunder, the two-tailed Jinchuriki column force is almost determined to be dead. It is unclear where the two tails are, but it is likely to be obtained by Konoha. With the help of the Uzumaki clan, the seal-tailed beast will not be what a problem. It's the Uzumaki clan again. It was Yi who spoke. He was already a teenager in his 20s. Compared with the teenagers many years ago, his muscles are more exploding and he has a beard. After the defeat in World War II, Yui practiced hard every day. In order to quickly improve his strength, he did a lot of S-level tasks. In a few years, he has been promoted from the elite Jonin to the quasi-cage level powerhouse. Hates the Uzumaki clan. 7 or 8 years ago, he first entered the elite Jonin level, before World War II broke out, but the Kumogakure village had already started targeting Konoha. At that time, he took the S-level mission to exterminate the Uzumaki family, kidnapped Uzumaki Liushin's son to deal with Uzumaki Liushin, but he did not expect to be seen by Yizan, who was only 7 years old, so that his mission completion rate was always at 99%. The Uzumaki family has an invincible ability to support the sealing technique. Without the Uzumaki family, the young Kyubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki column force would not be able to go to the battlefield, and we would not have so much pressure on the front line of the Kingdom of Thunder, he said. In the end, it's Konoha who fails. It's a pity. Sorry, it's all my fault. I don't blame you, it's all luck. If it wasn't for Shimura-san who happened to go to the country of Vortex, your plan would not have failed. Shimura-san is indeed a genius comparable to Senju Hashirama. Regardless of his wisdom or strength, he was defeated by him. Nothing in it. Third generation of Reikage comforted softly. Compared with his son, he suffered a lot of losses from Yizan, especially the last time the Ghost Lantern Moon attacked the Kingdom of Thunder. When Yizan, the Black Hand behind the scenes, was exposed by the Kingdom of Water, he listed Yizan as a sure kill target. The highest reward in the black market was Yizan's head worth 5 billion, and he sent someone to release it. Lord Reikage, what should we do now? Konoha killed our Jinchuriki column force. Looking at the posture, he refused to admit it. Once there is a second time, if Konoha uses the same method to kill Killer Bee, we don't have tailed beasts anymore. But for Killer Bee's growth, we can't keep him locked in the village forever, can we? Indeed, the growth of ninjas must be tempered, otherwise, even if one's Jinchuriki column strength, it will not have much effect. Reikage-sama, this matter must not be let go. Lord Reikage. Enough. A roar, the momentum of the third generation Reikage instantly scared everyone away. He put his hands on his knees, his head was half lowered, his eyes flickered, and the murderous aura on his body became more and more full. He would love to do everything in his power to fight Konoha directly, but he knows he can't because he's Reikage. He was angry, but no matter how angry he was, he had to restrain himself. At least, he couldn't ruin the country and the village. Konoha is stronger than us now, and can only bear it. I will go to the daimyo tomorrow. The military expenditure of our village, starting from this year, must be tripled by 587. Everything I do is for the country and the village. If he doesn't agree, don't blame me for being cruel. Third generation of Reikage's tone is cold. Although the village and the country are interdependent, he is not helpless. In recent years, the body of the name of Leijiguo has been getting worse and worse, and he has 3 sons under his knees. By the way, there is one more thing. We sent people to the country of water. Haven't the elders of the Ghost Lamp clan been in touch with us all the time? Let him match up, and we will do our best to help the development of the country of water. The condition is that after a few years, they must. Because of the death of the human Jinchuriki column force and the disappearance of the second tail, Konoha's growing strength finally made the Kumogakure village unable to sit still, and the 3 generations of Reikage and a group of staff began a new conspiracy. Although these things happened when they provoked Konoha in the first place, in the eyes of this group of people, what they did was right, but they were not allowed to deal with them. Seriously, Kumogakure village is a group of gangsters full of fighting and aggression, and unreasonable. The natural resources of Konoha make these gangsters covet, but the power of Konoha makes these gangsters afraid. Konoha, just be arrogant, give me a few years, and who will win by then, not sure. Chapter 279 17th birthday _ Peaceful days always pass quickly. Spring goes to autumn, autumn goes to spring, 3 years pass by in a flash. Jinchuriki column force 3 years ago, the Land of Thunder has stopped all operations. As if afraid of Konoha, even spies couldn't find any information. Not only the country of Thunder, but also the country of Wind, Land, Water, and Konoha have all stopped their operations. All countries have begun a stage of rapid development. There are no foreign wars, no civil wars, and the new generation of ninjas are also in one place. It grows slowly in a warm environment. If there is no war, the people will live very happily, and when they are full, they will embrace their wives and start a happy sex career. Because of this, babies are being born at an ever-increasing rate, and the number of ninjas, although not at the level before World War II, has risen a lot. Cheers! Happy birthday to Brother Zan. Happy adulthood. After pushing the glass for a while, the orange juice in the glass was replaced by sake. In this world, at the age of 17, you are an adult and you can drink, but everyone has been drinking secretly over the years. The hot pot with the fragrant smell kept rolling, and the pot was full of vegetables, as well as a lot of seafood, cooking, fried food, and barbecue, filling the entire long table. The crystal chandelier is luxurious and luxurious. The floor is not a traditional Japanese floor, but a handmade high-grade wool blanket. The stairs leading to the second floor are made of solid wood, which can accommodate 2 people walking side by side. Small products. This is Yizan's home, a new home full of Earth's 21st century modern style. Well, it's not a special reason. Yizan has grown up and often has sex with girls, but Danzo is at home again, including touching his sister on the sofa before going to bed at night. Too comfortable. Yizan felt uncomfortable, and Danzo also felt uncomfortable. Finally, the two discussed it and decided to buy a new house for Yizan, a big villa. Rich and willful. After Yizan's design, the new home has 3 floors, each of which is about 300 square meters. All the things and materials in the home are selected from the best, and the most expensive things are built. Every place is extremely delicate and looks extremely luxurious. Tsunade, Kushina, Makoto, Konan, all moved to Yizan's new house. Each of the 4 daughters has their own bedroom, and Yizan also has his own bedroom. Brother Zan, your new home is so big and luxurious. I'm so envious. Shikaku took a sip of his wine, smashed it a few times, and found that even the wine is the most precious sake in the ninja world, sweet and delicious. Fragrance in between. Everyone has grown up, maybe it's a personal hobby. Shikaku started to grow a beard. He was careless when he was doing the task the year before and left a scar on his face. Many girls love it. Hey, Shikaku, are you envious? Ha 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 ha, I just want you to be envious, but you can't design it, so you can only be envious, ha 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 ha. Yizan laughed. Although he has grown up, his character is still so bad. His mocking laughter made Shikaku speechless, and he could only curl his lips in annoyance. Who said I can't design it? I'm just too lazy to design. Otherwise, with my IQ of 190, your designs are nothing at all. Oh, you also know your IQ of 190. Then you can design a better one and have a look. Also, don't forget our agreement a few years ago. If your son's IQ is higher than yours, you must run all around Konoha. Quote. Humph. Don't forget, if my son's IQ is not as high as mine, you will have to be full. Hee hee. Shikaku, I believe in your strength, let's have a son with a high IQ. Yizan smirked, then looked at Yamanaka Inoichi. This guy is still a little handsome when he grows up, especially the way he pretends to be deep and sophisticated, especially attracting the attention of girls. Inoichi, how are you? Have you found a girlfriend? No, I like a lot of people, but I don't like them, and what I like. They don't like me. Yamanaka Inoichi's face was expressionless, but his heart was as sad as dripping blood. All the nice girls he pursued rejected him. He was also a perfectionist, and he didn't like the ordinary ones at all. Brother Zan, if you laugh at me, you might as well laugh at Minato. Look at his stupid appearance. He has lived with Mawako for 2 years, and he has done nothing. Hey, Inoichi. Namikaze Minato's face changed drastically. He was watching the fun, but when Inoichi said this, he felt his heart beat a beat slower, and a sharp pain came into his mind. He wanted to scream, but he didn't dare to speak. Minato put one hand on Minato's waist and kept twisting. Mercilessly, Minato was sweating profusely in pain, but he didn't dare to resist. Yeah, I'm sorry Mawako. I stole some wine with Inoichi and the others last time, but I got drunk and asked about it. Such a private matter was actually released, and immediately attracted everyone's attention. Especially Yizan. He stared in shock and made a very exaggerated expression. Minato. You lived with Mawako for 2 years, and you didn't do anything. You can't be sexual incompetent. No, Brother Zan, everyone, it's not what you think. When Mawako and I just wanted to get married. Ah! Minato screamed, the flesh on his waist was pinched purple, and he blinked pitifully, his eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry Mawako, I just wanted to explain to everyone. Humph! Mawako snorted softly, got up and left Minato, and changed seats to sit next to Kushina. The person on Minato's left became Inuzuka Paws, and a large black dog. Idiot Minato, what an idiot! The big black dog complained mercilessly, opening his mouth at the same time and eating the meat fed by Inuzuka's claws. Hiyomaru, you're too much. Don't think that you can scold me when you grow up and can talk. Last Tuesday night, what did you and Yuhimaru do in the empty alley? Do you think I didn't see it? Inuzuka claw, _ Kuromaru, _operator_. Chapter 280 _ quietly with Conan after dinner. Kuromaru's whole dog face was stunned. It opened its mouth stupidly, and took a slight step back when it noticed the vicious gaze of Inuzuka's claw. I don't know, Minato framed me. I definitely didn't do anything to Yuhimaru, wow. On the ground, not daring to look at Inuzuka's claws. Inuzuka's claws grabbed Kuromaru's neck and lifted him up. For such a big dog, he didn't dare to resist. Kuromaru, look into my eyes. Say, did you do anything to Yuhimaru? Wongwu. Heiwan called out in a low voice, as if he couldn't speak. Even an idiot could guess his expression. Ninja dogs are the fighting partners of the Inuzuka clan, but they are not related to contract psychic beasts. Dogs are not in the psychic world. They live with the Inuzuka clan. Every bitch is taken care of by the Inuzuka clan when they are pregnant. Puppies are born directly at the base of the Inuzuka clan. Is a servant. Ninja dogs should also be divided into bloodlines. With strong parents, the possibility of a puppy becoming stronger is higher, so the ninja dogs of the Inuzuka family are not allowed to have sex. They must be matched with strength and blood. Kuromaru, I can tell you. You are the most advanced ninja dog with language ability. Yuhimaru is not. Her strength and bloodline are much weaker than yours. You are against the family rules. Inuzuka's paw stared at Kuromaru fiercely. She didn't mean anything. The main thing was that if Kuromaru violated the family rules and really made Yuhimaru pregnant, Kuromaru would definitely be severely punished by the family. As a child who grew up with Kuromaru comrade in arms, Inuzuka Claw certainly doesn't want Kuromaru to be punished. Wongwu, I'm sorry, I won't be able to. Mistake, and Inuzuka Claw could only sigh. She only hoped that Yuhimaru would not be pregnant, otherwise, once it was found out, the rules of the family, but even the law of Konoha, could not interfere. Okay, I can't take it anymore, today is my birthday. Be happy. I'll take care of Kuromaru's situation this time. Come on, drink. That Inuzuka Claw and Himaru were not in a good mood. Yizan directly took the responsibility over. Isn't it just sex? It's normal for a dog. Even if something happens, his Shimura-zan's name, the Inuzuka family dare not give face. Little Claw, don't think too much. We and Himaru have been in a relationship for many years, and I will help him with this matter. Those old men of your family who dare not give me face, I will beat them. If they dare to die if the monkeys complained, I will continue to beat them in the office. But so do you, Kuromaru, just this time, it won't be an example. Yizan's arrogant tone finally made Inuzuka's Claw laugh. The girl's heart was also big, so she immediately changed her mood and happily touched a cup with Yizan. Thank you Brother Zan. Cheers. Yizan's adult birthday banquet would not end so easily. After lunch, everyone took out Ninja Kill and started playing. Shikaku was lazy and didn't say anything, and fell asleep directly on the handmade carpet. In addition to Shikaku and Yizan, there are 10 people in total, but Ninja Kill can only be played by 8 people. Just when everyone was struggling with which 2 people to exclude, Yizan suddenly spoke up and took the initiative to withdraw. Let me quit with Conan. Conan's strength has been improving recently. There are a lot of questions to ask me. You can play by yourself, leave us alone. Yizan said this, and everyone nodded naturally. Soon, everyone gathered around the huge coffee table, which was filled with fruit sake and juice, as well as a lot of sugar and snacks. At this moment, Yizan took Conan up to the second floor, turned a corner, and then went up to the third floor. There was a small practice room on the third floor, which was specially made for soundproofing, which was suitable for chakra and other meditation practice. Click. The door was closed, and the entire training room was completely silent. Even though everyone downstairs was noisily playing cards, no sound could be heard above. Teacher. Hey, Conan, you forgot, what should you call me at this time? Conan waved skillfully, and embraced Conan in his arms. Conan is younger than him, currently 14.5 years old, and he is extremely cute. Feeling Yizan's scorching eyes and smirk, Conan's pretty face turned to Yuhi and buried his head in Yizan's arms. She has been curious about certain things since she watched the 1 and 2 of Hell Heaven a few years ago. It was pure curiosity at first, but as she got older, she understood more and more, even more than a year ago, and did some semi-finished things with Yizan. Lips were blocked. Conan's body felt a little hot. She quickly grabbed Yizan's neck. Teacher and student, this secret feeling made them very excited, and this excitement also made their happiness very strong. Conan, I can't do it. Quick. Perhaps after drinking some wine, Yizan's mood was extremely high. He couldn't wait to hold Conan's head, but Conan didn't refuse. He squatted down obediently, and put his hand on Yizan's pants. Half an hour later, Yizan walked downstairs alone. Hey, big brother Zan, where's Conan? She was thinking about her practice. I went down to the toilet and grabbed some water for Conan to drink. Yizan smiled, and everyone had no doubts, and continued to start the lively ninja killing. Yizan walked into the toilet like this. After finding that no one was paying attention to himself, he quickly put the Kiba brush in the bathroom into his arms and hummed. Kor went to the toilet, walked into the kitchen, filled the oversized portable kettle that could hold 1 liter of boiled water, and walked slowly back to the third floor. Smelly rascal. Kushina glanced at Yizan and muttered softly, the little friends didn't know, how could she not know, this big pervert must have done something to Conan. It's really a stinky hooligan. Tsunade nodded in agreement. Only the two of them could guess Yizan's behavior. Kushina, Tsunade's sister, what are you talking about? Nothing, Makoto, I'm going to cross the river to tear down your weapon card. Tsunade-san, you're actually a rebel. Invulnerable. I use invulnerability to block your invulnerability. Hey, Kushina, so you are also a rebel.